Hey, it's Shabes, and welcome to another expedition of the Anime Encyclopedia. I actually really liked having the chat not popped out or anything, even though it means I wouldn't have the chat on this screen in this VOD. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit, because I mean, the other like downloaded VODs and everything that I have, the vast majority of the is not seen on this screen anyway. I gotta find a way to like embed, like get the chat in not like just a box like this, not than just like a flat box. I need to be something like something nice like Twitch or something. But maybe that's like a specific Streamlabs thing, and I don't really want to fuck with streaming that hard. Even though I've streamed a lot now, I would want it to be, I don't know. If I find some plug, I'd have to look into it. But next stream series, we won't break the tradition with this one. Good to see you, Veal. I've already counted the 50 entries I need to do for the next checkpoint. So let's get to Hiroshi Sasagawa. A lot of SE, of course. And I have to basically finish SA in this stream and get to SE at all. But then there's SC. There's SA, and I'm doing all of SC, like school, etc. And then getting a little into that other stuff. Alright, we're here. Sheesh. How was last streams? I was worsening my magic addiction. Fair enough, Annalisa. It was good. Sailor Moon was a weird article. Had some weirdness to it. They talked a little bit more about Takeuchi's drama with Kodansha and future works of hers. They compared her to J.K. Rowling, which it didn't age all that well. But what can you do? What other weird things about Sailor Moon? Yeah, it was rebranded as Kunihiko Ikuhara's Sailor Moon Super. They never mentioned Junichi Sato a single time, because of course they don't. And then they put this, like, Sailor Moon Super S. Note the easy to confuse typography. That's you! Don't pick apart, like, how confusing the typography is if that's your bad. It literally just says Super S. It's not hard. It's not hard. And then they say this quote, focus shifting away from Usagi onto Chibiusa, thought to be more appealing to younger girls as the original target audience put childish things, i.e. merchandise, behind them. It's only like 4 years. They're talking about like Super S in that instance, or maybe the final season. And I think they were talking about the 4th season though, and they're like, oh, by that time all the kids have moved on. There are other, third graders don't suddenly stop existing, right? You know that, right? I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me. It's weird. Nice to dunk on all of Sailor Moon fans who stuck up to that point. You know what I mean? Damn, Sailor Moon, Sailor Senshi getting weird comparisons. These guys wouldn't last with non-house strikers. Yeah, of course not. This is a funny comment. Sorry, they were talking about one of the TV specials starring Sailor Mercury, always popular with the series' unexpectedly large audience of boys because she did stuff with computers. Yeah? Is that why she was popular? Really? I mean, maybe. I certainly didn't like her because of that. I liked her because she had short hair. And was very polite and smart, and was a really good foil for Usagi's like kind of manic, hysterical, and crying and stuff. She was just like a really good bounce off point for that. I don't know, I just really liked that her power had a utility to it. It wasn't just an attack. It was something to like disorient the enemy, and not necessarily to like beat it, I liked that as well. Yeah, I like a lot of things about Ami and Sailor Mercury. Not because she did stuff with computers. Like, what? It's because it's a girl show a couple years before the Brony major fad. A couple years? You mean like 2 decades? Bronies is like 2014. Or 2011. 2011, 2012. And Sailor Moon's 1992. But yeah, that's fair. And then they have this, because they talk about Sailor Moon's failure in the West because they didn't merchandise it properly. And it says, Bandai would not make the same mistake with the later Pokemon. Bandai? Bandai, specifically. Okay. Bandai's involved with, like, the plastic model kits. With, like, the figures. But not, like, everything else. That actually was the reason Pokemon was so popular. Sailor Moon has also been the subject of erotic pastiches in Venus 5 and The Sailor and the Seven Balls. They end the first edition article on Sailor Moon mentioning Sailor and the Seven Balls. And they don't in the third edition because they added more stuff, but yeah. More that they wouldn't make the US connection. Yeah, it was not a great article. The remark about merchandise was funny because Akihabara has stores with an entire floor dedicated to Mahou Shoujo merch. Bandai specifically, huh? Yeah, I guess. And other such things. This was all from one stream. And we're about to do it again. Here we go. We're on Sarutobi's. Well, okay. Sasuga no Sarutobi, or Idiot Ninja. It's another instance of, like, why is it labeled like this? It's in Japanese. Aren't you doing localized titles? Right? It's like, what are we doing here? American censorism shines through. By the way, I checked out episode 10 and 112 of Urusei Yatsura, and it's still just a 6 out of 10 for me. Okay. Fair enough, I guess. I hope you liked the video. I don't know if you watched my video on it. Fair enough, I guess. I think it's also just, like, to me, it's because it's episodic, it's the kind of show that you get attached to the characters, and once you really feel like you like the characters and enjoy them, that the episodes become even more fun, and seeing them in those situations and stuff, and just the general versatility and imaginativeness of the show. So it's sort of one of those things where it's like watching a couple, but I get that, sure. Sasuga. Where are we at? Sasuga. Because, like, it does so many different things, right? That it's like, there could be things, yeah, I don't know. That you're more interested in is what I'm thinking. There's, like, other genres and stuff. Yeah, thanks for the video. That's why I checked out 112 because of Kitty. Yeah, cool. That's fair. I'm not going to read this one because it's like, you know, what is it? You know what I mean? Read this one out loud, I mean. I gotta keep it in my back. They just call it a cheerful comedy. Okay. Sasuke from 1968. It's an English compilation, apparently. That's interesting. Sorry, there's a just like that. Just get it out of the sun. Does the episodic nature feel anachronistic, out of time of our current seasonal culture? You mean like dated? Because I'm sure there's some people who would be like, you know, they come to anime for like deep plots or whatever. I don't know. It's not just like a regular cartoon. You know. But like, maybe what you're talking about, the fact that like Urusei Yatsura, there's not much story continuity in the way that like their house can blow up in the end of one episode and then the next episode it's completely fine. You know, it doesn't have that sort of continuity to it. It has character continuity where you learn certain things about the characters and that becomes a recurring gag for them. You know, that sort of thing can happen. But sure, I mean, our seasonal culture, I don't know how much they'd be interested in that sort of thing. But okay. Let me just check the first book. Oh, I think something's different. They did add something. Yeah, they added this little tidbit about English compilation movie dub by Jim Terry Productions. Ninja the Wonder Boy. I was hoping Ataru would be able to get back together with his original girlfriend in the beginning, as Lum just forced herself into their lives because of a misunderstanding. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I take it from Shinobu's perspective that Ataru clearly doesn't necessarily care for her. His deal, and he articulates it pretty well as the show goes on, and I think Beautiful Dreamer actually ends up articulating it extremely. I think the way I usually articulate it, which is funny because I typically don't think it's good at representing the series, but I think he has a very good point where Ataru's whole deal is that he wants a harem. He wants every woman, and that includes Shinobu, and it includes Lum. But his problem is that Lum just wants Ataru, and she just wants Ataru to love her alone. Like, it wants to be monogamous, and Ataru is not interested in that. He is looking for all the women, and obviously Shinobu is obviously not really looking to be in a harem either. So he's kind of in a different spot. I think it's like pegging him in a different way. Ataru kind of sucks. Oh no, that's the thing. He does suck. That is the thing. And you know what's funny? I just finished watching Steins Gate. I don't want to dwell too much on talking about Steins Gate here because I want to move on to this project. But I thought Okabe Rintaro sucks as well. And I'm thinking like, oh, you know, that's the point. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. But I guess what works with Ataru for me is that he's aware of it, or just, I don't know, he acts in a way that it, like, the actions he takes are funny and interesting, and you know, clashes really well with Lum, who's this extremely powerful, capable character, and their dynamic is so infectious to me, because, you know, I don't know, it's their attitude with each other. Whereas just Rintaro is I think if Ataru was in a plot-driven show where he's forced to make choices and he keeps making stupid ones, that's frustrating to me. You know? But see, you know, I can kind of take the show less seriously and enjoy it in a different way than something like Steins Gate, where I'm like really peeved at the way Rintaro reacts and chooses to do certain things in the show. That, like, the last thing I want an anime or any media to do is for me to go like, oh, what he should have done is this, 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 or like, come on, think about this, 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 or just do this, or whatever. And me like dictating onto a character is the last thing I want to do. You know, because that's just not, it's misplaced expectations. It's a schism. You know, and that's what's really off. That's what really sucks about it for me. Sorry to make it about Steins Gate, I guess, but I know what you mean when a character sucks, and that's the point. It's hard to manage that. No, could that would ruin the premise? What do you think this is? Domestic girlfriend didn't like Otaku Boy, huh? Atro is one note, but I think it is sincere, so I can play well as a gag. That's what I mean. It's very sincere. That's what I'm thinking. And Okabe is just man. What are you thinking, man? Like, I get it. He's not actually a smart mad scientist guy. Like, it's a sham or whatever. And that's something that the audience is meant to peg really quick. And obviously Christina pegs that really early as well, which is fun. But it's just sort of like you know, and it stinks. What's shaken bacon? I think you're trying to say shaken bacon. It's good to see you, Holy Pig. Did not expect Steins Gate become the new Shabe's hot take show. Yeah, I guess not. I didn't expect it either. I wanted to like it a lot. I loved Occultic 9. Loved that show. And you know, I think it's because I watched Occultic 9 first, maybe. But what's so funny is I actually was not thinking Occultic 9 at all through the entire show of me time watching Steins Gate. I pretty much forgot about it, and then one of the replies to my tweet about watching Steins Gate mentioned Occultic 9. I was just like, oh my god, yeah, it's not even close. Oh my god, like, Occultic 9 is everything I wish Steins Gate was. Perfectly. Because it's very similarly nerdy, character-driven, fucked up plot, kind of tense, but it's way more erratic, way more interesting, way more, like, weird, and not taking itself that seriously, and it looks and sounds incredible. Like, half of what sucked about Steins Gate, I think, the main problem I had with it is just so boring to look at. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't like the designs. The longer I look at them, it's just like, that's it? This is it? And they barely emote? And it's the same 5 colors. You know? It's not a looker. It's just really boring. There's some cuts of animation that look cool, but it's like they come out of nowhere. And it's so random. There's some evocative images in places, but they're very rare and out of, like, not the moment-to-moment kind of feeling. It just didn't fuck with it. And the thing is, right, I really didn't know how to feel, because the show looked so boring, and it kind of was boring on a moment-to-moment basis, but I did like the characters. I like Christina a lot. I like oh my god, I already forgot her name. That's bad. Oh no. Oh no. Doo-doo-doo. I liked her a lot. She was really cute. I like Daru. I even like Moeka because she was just interesting. Suzuha. Oh my god, what is her name? No. What the fuck is... I can't believe I forgot her name. That's so funny. Shit. But she was my favorite character. I don't even remember her name. Fuck. Oh well. I like some of the twists. It really was just... whatever, you know? Couldn't get it. Whatever. Rintaro is just NHK's Tatsuhiro Sato levels and being completely cringe. Yeah, there's a fine line for me with characters with bad traits they need to develop to become better. Yeah, and you're really not gonna get that with Ataru. It doesn't really get better. Which, I mean, in that case, it wouldn't have worked. I think eventually the show would have lost its edge if that happened. They end up kind of settling into a rhythm, is what happens, where it kind of settles into like, this is how they are able to act with each other, pretty much. Depends on the rest of the story. I wonder if we got a Robotics Notes watcher here. Haven't seen it yet. Gotta fail to replicate be an aesthetic classic adaptation. True. Kind of looks like a PS3 game, but the story is top tier. Masahiro? Mayuri. Yeah, it's Mayuri. Yeah, sorry. I mean, Okabe kept fucking screaming her name. Ugh. Man. Not it. Okay, which is better, Future Diary? I haven't seen Future Diary. I kind of don't know if I want to. I'm not really... I don't know about that, Chief, but... probably at some point. But it's not my priority. This year, this season, like the one episode of a day pattern that I was watching, I'm going to stop that now because I'm going to play fucking Tears of the Kingdom, so I don't want another... I was going to watch Psycho Pass after Steins Gate. And then I decided against it because I want to make my video, play Tears of the Kingdom. I have work. I have too much stuff going on. So I don't even know if it's gonna happen. I need to keep going. Jesus. Looking into Sasuke now looks and sounds interesting. Yeah. Oh wait, I remember because she's Hanakanazawa. Yeah. Okay, Satanica. 1997. And it is not in the first edition. I can understand because it's not really it seems like an American thing, so I will say that's a new edition. Satanica 1997. This rarity is more prized by anime encyclopedists for the time capsule glimpse it affords inside Madhouse, an anime studio at work. I'll give it positive for that. Future Dice want to be edgy trash that feeded out in high school to dead. It's kind of surreal. Just blew through Blue Lock. Shonen could be good. Yeah. Is it porn? No, Satanic is not porn. It's like a, based on a comic thing. It was just a pitch. And, like, Kawajiri directed it, and Rintaro storyboarded it. It's pretty interesting for that. 1984, The Satisfaction is not in here. And that's all it's called, and it's porn, definitely porn, so that's a new edition as well. I'm just gonna put the 84. Possibly the first appearance of tentacles in Japanese animated erotica. Of course. Anyway. Gen Sato. That's why I compared it to Steins Gate. No, Steins Gate's way more beloved. Weirdly so, in my opinion. High School Dead's Kino. It's okay. I might like it more now that I'm more attuned with Araki, Tetsuo Araki's style. Tomorrow's Naja. Is his work? He's a Toei guy, animation. Junichi Sato. Perfect. Good to see. Born in Aichi Prefecture, he studied film at the Fine Arts Department of Nihon University, but dropped out to join Toei Animation in 1981. His animation debut was on the series Tenmaru the Little Tengu in 1983, but he was perhaps best known for his directorial work on Sailor Moon. Yeah, no thanks to you guys. Didn't fucking mention him for shit. Sometimes works under the pseudonym Hajime Tendo or Kichi Hadame. He's also the creator of more recent shows such as Kaleido Star and Pre-Tier. That's it. Really doesn't give him any credit. Really not a great article. Aria, Doremi, Crayon Kingdom. Mapletown Stories, Goldfish Warning. I don't think the timeline thriller compares to Suddenly Raped Cult and Common Terrorist. It's World War III. That was, I think that moment in Steins Gate did push it over for me to be meh, where it was just like, only you can stop World War III. I was like, no. Nice try. Okay, I'm good. And then the finale was even worse. Not like awful or anything. It was just like kind of toothless to me. I'm like, come on. I'm not gonna spoil, but I thought it was a bit of a cop-out, personally. Goldfish Warning's fantastic. Sure is. Shaves the goat. Thank you, Pete. Always good to see you. Nope, no credit to kid showrunners. No. I'm surprised they didn't mention Ikuhara in the article. Yeah. Yeah. Yoshiharu Sato. Character design for Pollyanna? Okay. Not much to say, though. Yuzo Sato. Okay, that's it. Not much. Save Me. Guardian Shaolin from 1998. This is... Oh, okay. I was about to be like, this is also not in the first edition, but no, it is. Alright. Yeah, it's Uchikoshi tier. Best known for working on Ikuhara's Sailor Moon. Oh my god, can you imagine if they said that? I'd flip my lid. I'm now 9 episodes away from finishing G Gundam. Sounds fun. What song is this? Sounds familiar. This is what's been playing in a lot of the streams, so that's probably why it's familiar, P. But this is the, this here is the, what we've been listening to. Nice try, anime. I'm actually pro-war. After all, it gives me tons of good mecha fights. Yeah. Everyone loves one or the other. If you have one, hate one, you love the other. Really? Interesting. High Street chat, you're all looking very dashing today. That's why I compare them. Oh, I see. Okay, Save Me Guardian Shaolin from 1998. Let's find out what this is. Bled. Do 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 do. Amazing. An average Japanese boy waits all through junior high school for a goddess to worship him, and then 3 show up at once. And that's all they say about it, really. Make up the grandly titled... Yeah. No, they don't really give much opinion other than that. Okay. Double checking the 3rd edition. They do add about it having a video series in 2000. Added 2000 video series. Oh, actually, no, they didn't. I'm stupid. I am a dum-dum. No, they didn't. That's in the 1st edition as well. Okay, save me. Lollipop. Okay. War is bad, but planes mechs are rad. I have to stand up straighter. Oh yeah, cool. The story is packed with tropes and cliches, moving from improbability to tedium and back by way of an outstandingly dull script and inexpensive animation. This won't worry the target audience because little girls can enjoy almost anything wrapped in pastel colors, cute boys, and romance. But to reviewers who have seen it all before and rather better done, this series is a disappointment. Another, they literally just be like, I'm better than a 6-year-old. I know better than these little girls. I know better. Like, okay. Good for you, man. Sheesh. Friendly reminder that this isn't a good look. Disappointing. I've seen it all before, and rather better done. Come on, guys. We sure do be shoujo phobic up in here. Not gonna lie, those guys kind of suck. Hi, good to see you, Alms. I've never seen you in chat. Good to see you. Hi. Oh boy. Just reading the book as usual. Oh, okay. This is a recent one. Suki te inayo, or Say I Love You. You guys are familiar with this one, right? Looking like that. Right? Right? If I could just... I want to get an anime visual. Because I'm Lucky's an anime guy. Wow, just the live action and the... Okay. Well, there you go. There you go. You get it. Okay, let's see what they got to say about this one. I'll read this out loud. In this, hold on, sorry. Say I love you. In this adaptation of Kanai Hazuki's manga from Dessert Magazine, which features as a place of enjoyment for one of the characters, awkward school wallflower Mei Tachibana accidentally kicks the handsome Yamato Kurosawa in the head. Yamato is immediately, and in Mei's opinion, inexplicably smitten with her, and pursues her as if she is the most beautiful girl in the world, in an artful, passionate entry in the romance and drama genre. They like it. All right. Readers might scoff that the class hunk pursuing a dorky girl is no less ludicrous than a million harem anime premises for boys, but Say I Love You treats its heroine with heart and empathy, not the least in her recurring refusal to accept that Yamato's interest is anything more than some sort of blunt force trauma. Viewers are assured that somewhere out there, everyone has that special someone, and that is surely the quintessence of romance, anime or otherwise. Oh, cute. That's good. And it was only 13 episodes, so I'm not too sure how impressed little girls were. The good, bad book. The stream is always late for me. It's around 4 a.m. at the moment. I woke up right... Oh! Fair. Understandable. Still, good to see you. Never heard of it. Seems familiar. Plan is 50 again, right? That was 10. Yeah. Is this the other show done better that this close to the last article? It seems fine. They seem to like it still. Artful, passionate entry in the genre. Treats its heroine with heart and empathy. Yay. Hello, Greg. Good to see you. Alright, you guys probably know this one. Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. Yeah. Nozomu Itoshiki tends to expect the worst. In fact, he's probably the world's most determined pessimist. Since he's a high school teacher, you might feel some pessimism is understandable, even justified. But his is so extreme that one of his hobbies is planning his suicide. Even the 3 kanji of his name can be compressed into the 2 kanji word zetsubo, or despair. As the series opens, he's trying to hang himself on a blossoming cherry tree, but is saved by a perky high school girl who tells him he can't possibly kill himself on such a beautiful day surrounded by such lovely trees. He flees to school to escape her overwhelming optimism, then finds that he's her new class teacher. What's more, everyone in the class has some weird trait or obsession. His abilities as a teacher and his tendency to think everything through with brutal and unforgiving realism will be tested to the full. Koji Komeda's 2005 manga set out to satirize politics, media, and society in Japan, using literary, historical, and visual references to Japan's Taisho period, not the least Soseki Natsume's rural classroom drama Botchan. It ran until 2012, and a dozen of collected volumes are available in English at the time of writing. The anime follows the manga's lead in making frequent, often subtle references to pop culture, both in the number of parodies and homages to anime and manga, and in the Sheesh! Well, that's all I had to do? One sec. Hold on. It was very loose, my microphone jack. It just like unplugged. Sorry. The anime follows the manga's lead in making frequent, often subtle references to pop culture, both in the number of parodies and the homages to anime and manga, and in the apparently random thoughts and ideas written on the classroom chalkboard, behind credits and elsewhere on screen. With Shimbo, director of Puelle Magi Madoka Magica, in charge, arresting visuals and strong pacing are guaranteed. Stylish, reflective, and obliquely funny, the show references art from Aubrey Beardsley to Mike Mignola via Peanuts, anime from Sunrise to Shaft via Castle of Cagliostro, games, internet forums, TV, movies, sport, and literature. Watch for the blink and you'll miss it reference to the Chronicles of Narnia. I'll just give a positive right now because they did give a good thing about it. Wait a minute. Let me see if they have any more criticism. Maybe it's a more mixed one. It even had its own mini scandal when an opening animation showing teacher and several girls in bondage or lesbian poses was changed after 6 uses for episode 10. With a note on screen, the opening was not changed because of complaints. Subsequent seasons displayed the punning humor of the show, even in their titles, with prefixes that often hid double meanings. The second TV series, Vulgar/More Farewell, Zetsubo Sensei, Zoku Sayonara, aired in 2008, with a third, Repent/3 Farewell, Zan Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, in 2009. 3 videos collectively entitled Prison/Culmination Farewell, Goku Sayonara Setsubo Sensei, appeared between October 2008 and February 2009, the first and third bundled with manga collections and the second as a standalone release. Confusingly, this is sometimes promoted as Series 2.5. 2 more video episodes were released in 2009, sometimes called Series 3.5. Internet radio series and over 20 CD dramas have continued the story further. Okay, positive on that. Nothing else too weird about that. I feel like I have to rewatch the first season before getting to the second one. I don't know. I tried it. It's good to see you, Mia, by the way. Just reading the chat. Okay. Heading out soon. Yep, okay. Oh, Sazae-san. Sazae-san. 1969. The later seasons are just more Shaft. Oh, sure. I guess you're right. I could just go right to the second season, even if I watched the first like a year ago at this point and don't remember almost any of it. I remember some characters, but it wasn't hidden for me, unfortunately. Sazai Isono, her husband Masato, their 2 children, and her mother live together in a small house in a quiet suburb of Tokyo. Each episode is simply a snippet of their daily life, running the gamut of putting up with noisy neighbors, sharing a public phone, or being polite to unwanted visitors. Can you imagine Sazai-san's made probably several episodes about social media? I'd like to think that. Based on 1946 manga serialized in the Asahi Shimbun newspaper until 1974, Sazai-san was the most successful work by Nasty Old Lady creator Machiko Hasegawa. Still running 32 years later, the program has outlived both its manga incarnation and its creator, who died in 1992. Appealing to a vast mainstream audience who do not otherwise watch animation, it remains the highest rated anime on Japanese television, consistently maintaining an audience share around 25%. Pokemon can barely manage 14%, while major hits like Chibi Maruko-chan and Conan the Boy Detective hover around 13% mark. Those are still really fucking impressive numbers, and most anime are not even hitting that. Like, you're not... Like, Pokemon can barely hit 14%! Like, yeah. Okay. Of course. Great. Wonderful. Sazai-san is thus the most popular anime in Japan. Because it has an audience share of that? I guess. But you think about the presence of a lot of these other anime. You know, Sazai-san doesn't necessarily have a theme park or any movies that come out. Doesn't have much in the way of merchandising because the author wanted it that way. Good on them, honestly. And it works. You know, I'm happy that it's able to still be around and make its money back and everything, you know, pay people, and it's their living and stuff, and that's awesome. But, like, you know, calling it the most popular thing in Japan just by the metric of TV ratings, I think, is a little short-sighted. It's certainly a presence, and certainly an omnipresent, you know, pretty strong presence. But you even think about now of, like, how many anime at this like people have, like, cable. I don't know, maybe in Japan there's a lot more still. And I mean, all these anime are still airing on TV at the end of the day. But you think about the giant marketing pushes of some of these other titles, and you also consider some of Miyazaki's films, or even Demon Slayer. For a period of time, at least, I would say Demon Slayer was probably more popular than Sazai-san. You know, certainly an enduring symbol, but, like, I don't know. No, they're probably correct. No, certainly. They're not flatly wrong. But I can tell what they're trying to do here. They're trying to make this point that a lot of people kind of have this gotcha that I'm kind of sick of. I'm not going to lie. Because it idolizes or, like, generalizes these titles, and you don't really get an understanding of what they actually are or what their value is. Sazai-san is only known for its... In the West... We only really know it for how long it is and this, like, audience rating thing. You know, we all know the kind of, like, the surrounding of it, but what's, like, the value? What's the interest about it? You know, like, and not what it's about, but, like, what does it do that's interesting? Or that, like, you know, has something to it. Let's talk about the show. Instead of kind of boiling it down to these numbers and this status symbol. And like I'm saying, you really are trying to make it like a gotcha of, like, you don't know Pan Man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay. But what does that do for us? What value does that have? If you're not going to talk about the show itself. You know, like, these guys are so openly dismissive about slice of life anime. And this is probably one of the most slice of life as you can get. And then they're putting it on this pedestal or whatever.
and makes a mockery of The Simpsons' claim to be the longest-running TV cartoon series in the world as it enters its 5th decade of continuous, quiet, small-screen triumph, compared to the similar tone of My Neighbors the Yamadas. One of the 3rd edition mentions that this past Doraemon is the longest anime. It did that before Doraemon. It aired before Doraemon. I think it's just a perspective for scale, but yeah, the other tone of the otherwise tone of it, right? The fact that we know that they've been putting down Pokemon in other places, like whenever they can. I always thought Nice Guy should have done a collab where you get one of AnnieTuber to each review an episode of Sazae-san. That'd be cool. It's more important than One Piece. Sorry, Shapes, I don't make the rules. Yeah, like, okay. You know what I mean? And it's also one thing, right? To think about the most popular anime in Japan. How much stock does that really have anymore? When now foreign sales have outgrossed domestic sales in Japan for anime. Right? Am I correct on that? I'm pretty sure that's the case for anime. It could even be the case... Maybe it's not the case for manga. Maybe not. But it's close, probably. Like, you know what I mean? Anime at this point is a global medium. So you kind of have to take that into consideration. And so, especially the fact that Sazae-san doesn't have barely any physical release and can't even be licensed or anything like that. How many episodes have been completely lost to time, lost media? You know what I mean? It, like, to me, it's like, it's barely an anime at that point. It's not like, oh, it's not an anime if I can't watch it. It's sort of just like, what impact does it really have? You know, the fact that, like, most people, like they say here, it's watched mostly by people who don't like animation, who do not otherwise watch animation. So it's like, what do we have to say about it? What does this factor in? It's its own isolated thing. It could be as a kid family show with a long ground like Garfield. Yeah, I'd like to know why it's so popular. Yeah, it's 100% misrepresenting the data just to make it as an elitist put-down trivia. Trivia is a good way to put it, yeah. I thought Doraemon aired a year or so before Sazae-san. Maybe I'm misremembering. Yeah, no, Sazae-san's early. 69. Mad respect. The most non-anime anime. Well, kind of, yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And it's just, to me, they don't even address the it's almost hypocritical that they're putting it on this pedestal and calling it a triumph when they have such an outright dismissal for this genre that it defines. It pretty much predates every other one. Like, you think about anime from the 60s, you know, never mind ones that are still going today. Like, forget that. Put that aside. Anime that had aired in the 1960s, and this is in 69, what other ones were doing just, it's slice of life, it's just daily life through, you know, chores and human regular problems, slice of life. That's huge. That's actually a major impact. And I'm sure it paved the way for a lot of slice of life stuff. You know, maybe it's in its format, in its, like, episodic nature. But no, they're just going to compare it to The Simpsons for how, like, it's a competition or something. You know, it's shallow. Like, it's fun and nice when you first learn about it. But I've known about this, and I was that guy being bragging, like, oh, Sazae-san is this thing, and, you know, and I was tickled by it. But it's been years since I known that. And it's been more than decades since they've known this. So it's like, can't you say anything more substantive about Sazae-san than this? Anything. Literally, you just have, like, Sazae Isono, her husband, Masato, their 2 children, and her mother. Like, you can't even give the name of the kids? What are their ages? Is it a boy-girl pairing? I think it is. I don't know. See how fucking little we know about this fucking show? But you see, most slice of life is aimed at otaku, but this one's aimed at families. Oh, I see what you're getting at. Not a bad call there. Interesting, yeah. Let me just double check the... Well, of course, they... I could make a video. I actually do want to make a video about that. Like, just like, what is Sazai-san really? You know, and like, let's actually discuss it and see footage of it, and like, you know, well, there's not much to say. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I kind of want to make that now. Should have been aimed at otaku families. If they were even a thing in 1969 or 1942 when the manga started. Unlike most slice of life. Right. Yeah, good comment, silly Sir Panties. Pantines. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm bad. Can't believe you'd make a video on an anime if not complete. Shut the fuck up. It's not the first time, Victor. It's not the first time. Yeah, almost no one talks about this. I legit thought The Simpsons might have been the longest running animated show to Doraemon for a while when you check Wikipedia. Pretty crazy. Yeah. Anyway. They added something here. Well, there you go. They added something here, actually. This is interesting. Its anime version adheres closely to her authorial style. No negative news items, no modern slang, no bad words, no electronic devices. That's really interesting that there's no electronic devices. If it's like stuck in a certain time period, that's really interesting. Because I would have assumed that they kind of move with the times. But if they don't, that is also very interesting. Very cool. See, that's something I'm happy they mentioned that. They did have something to add after 13 years from the first edition to now. Screenwriter Masaki Tsuji also reported that despite running for only 7 minutes, the average Sazai-san script was so packed with incident and detail that it would often fill up 40 pages. So like they're talking about like they're sourcing this quote from the screenwriter. You know? Some episodes may have been like that. I don't know. But again, this is like giving detail in a hands-off way. It doesn't feel like they've actually watched it. Because they're just sourcing from a magazine, like, oh, the scriptwriter said this about it. You know, they probably got this quote of, like, adheres closely to her authorial style, no negative news items, no modern slang, no bad words. They probably have a similar, they got that from somewhere. Which I get it, like, most of this is coming from somewhere else. It's all sourced or whatever. But, you know, they've been giving their opinions about this stuff, too. It could, and, like, their own personal analysis of some of these titles, like Gantz or whatever. Sorry, but my name is so bad. I want to change. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry to butcher it. That was my bad. Do an episode ranking of Sazai-san lol. Not an episode ranking, because I physically can't do that. You physically can't do it. There's episodes that don't exist anymore. It's been airing every week since 1969, with very, very few breaks. A couple breaks. There have been breaks. I know at least one, because of the COVID pandemic. They did take a postponement because of the voice actors. Because, like, they couldn't properly sanitize the recording booth because of the mics, so they physically couldn't make it safe, so they couldn't record, so they couldn't produce episodes. So they did have breaks. They've had some breaks at least. Reminds me of Peanuts, but then yeah, like it's never had a physical release, and so there are tons of episodes that are like lost media unless someone like recorded them off their TV. I've read an interesting thesis about Iyashike once that discussed Sazai-san from that perspective. Great. It could be true. Peanuts also doesn't have technology besides occasionally watching TV. Yeah. Although I wouldn't be surprised if someone's kind of haphazardly misapplied that. You know, if there's like a modern, like, did the Blue Sky Peanuts movie have any technology? There's been so many adaptations of Peanuts, it's hard to like make those big generalizations. Like, this doesn't have technology besides these things or whatever. But I would be curious to see how closely, how actually true that is. I'm sure it is mostly true. It's a fair enough point. But statements like that are so broad, and especially for something like Sazai-san, you know, I can probably understand no bad words. Modern slang, I think, is a tough thing because, like, what if it was modern slang in 1970 and now it's 2000 and it's not modern slang anymore? Can they still use it? Just because it was slang in 1969, now we still can't use it even though it's 2023. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, when does it not become modern slang? Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's a weird distinction to make, I think. I understand it. I think it makes sense, but I find that dubious, personally. And then, no negative news items. That's great. I'm sure that's the case, and I'm sure they can pretty much avoid that. Plenty of other shows do, like Shin-Chan or whatever. And then no electronic devices is another thing that I'm like, they literally just said that, where is it? Running the gamut of putting up with noisy neighbors, sharing a public phone. That's an electronic device. Am I wrong? Is a phone doesn't count as an electronic device? I had to be like, actually, and like, you know, a little like nitpicky, I guess, but where does that end? Where does that line get drawn? For how long the show has been running? Still running 45 years later. Added bit about screenwriter reporting that despite running only 7 minutes, average script was so packed with incident and detail that it often fill 40 pages. That's interesting, and maybe that has to do with the way they wrote that script. Like, how much are they writing what visually happens on screen? You know, I don't know. There's something weird about that for me too. Does that mean Sazai-san's an overly verbose show? Like, what is it packing that with? You know, I that's what I want to know. COVID and one earthquake is the only 2 times I've heard they had breaks. Yeah. I believe a lot of the early episodes are on Japanese. Yeah, so like, some is available. I know some is. And that's probably, if I was to make this video, that's all I can watch, so I'll watch it, you know? I'll watch what I can. Blue Sky Peanuts doesn't have technology. The only closest thing to timely stuff is Disco Dancing Snoopy and Exercising Snoopy in the 80s. Oh, yeah, okay. Cool. And school buses. Although I guess school buses were a thing in the 50s. Of course, normal telephones are a thing too. Landline. Mm-hmm. And then they obviously change 32 years later to 45 years later. Garnered remarkably little. Ah! They actually also added, but has garnered remarkably little attention outside Japan. It's not remarkable to me because, again, if you find out the context of which this is being made, where the author insisted on not merchandising the franchise, the title, there's no movies, there's no toys, there's no spin-offs, there's no anything. You can't even get it on DVD or physical release. This is in part because Hasegawa was vehemently opposed to merchandise spin-offs, severely limiting Saze-san's appearances, not only in pencil cases, posters, and dolls, but also in video re-releases and foreign translations. Yep. And there's the paragraph. In 2014, maintaining an audience share around 25%. Saze-san is thus the most popular. Hey, they actually cut this little side comment. This is good. I'm happy they actually cut this. Or removed. Pokemon can barely manage 14%, while major hits like Maruko-chan and Conan hover around 13%. Good. I'm actually gonna probably put down in the bottom here is like much better. Much improved. Saze-san is thus the most popular anime in Japan and the longest running cartoon in the world, a claim tardily acknowledged by Guinness World Records in 2013, compared to the similar tone of My Neighbors the Yamadas. And they also removed the Simpsons comment. Removed, and makes a mockery of the Simpsons claim to be the longest running TV cartoon series in the world as it enters its 5th decade of continuous, quiet, small screen triumph. They removed that whole piece. And they instead, I would say they like changed to Guinness World Record in 2013. They also added the story also exists in a live-action version starring Chiemi Eri, which ran on TBS from 1965 to 1967. So they actually did a live-action version of this show before the anime, and then the anime came out in two years later. While the creation of the story and the life of Hasegawa became the subject of an NHK series in 1979. A modern-day live-action reboot, Saze-san, from 2010, ran for 3 short seasons, but already seemed curiously out of step. The story is so old that simple physical issues, such as the large size of the extended family, are now anachronistic. So too was the technology of the show's creation, with Saze-san famously clinging on as the last Japanese cartoon to be made with cell animation. I think I heard about that as well. I did hear about that. I wish they gave the year for when they stopped that. Oh well. The studio only... There it is. Thank you. Perfect. This article's good. It's actually giving me... I'll take back my comment earlier. I did jump the gun because the thing is, I've read so many of these articles that they don't change a damn thing. They hardly change anything besides adding little bits, but then they keep a lot of the bullshit, you know? And so this is really refreshing. They've pretty much cut all the bullshit and added a lot of substantive stuff. So I'll take back my comment of like, these guys can't say anything interesting about it. Thankfully they are, and I'm very happy they are. I will eat my words on that one. Good shit. I wish they proved me wrong more often. The studio only switched to full digital animation in 2013. Oh my gosh. Wow. I actually had no idea that they were doing cell animation in 2012. That's crazy. I wonder if the stuff that's available that you can actually see of Sazae-san is from before 2013. I would love to see that. I would really hope that they still do that they have that available. Presumably after the very last of the old school animators had retired. Modern day episodes of Sazae-san end with the character appearing on screen and playing a Janken match with the viewer. This extra replaces the previous closing sequence, which ran from 1969 to 1991, in which Sazae-san would throw a peanut up in the air and catch it in her mouth. The peanut trick was taken off the air in 1991 after a child choked to death while trying to imitate this feat. Oh! Damn. And that's how they end the article? How do they... Oh, they always do this with these weird choices of, like, ending the article on some kind of morbid or awkward or sour note. What the fuck? Whatever. Not a big deal. I'm not going to put it in odd choices, because that's still interesting. Still very interesting. Not really give any positive opinions about it, of course. But they added, 65, 79, and 2010 live action series. Switch from cell to digital in 2013. Modern day eps ending with a Janken match. Used to end with peanut trick. Tragic. Tragic. Yeah, bummer, man. I know what I mean. You know, it's like, damn. It's like the ending of Stan. It's like, it was you. Damn. It ends like that. Okay. Hair Crow Man. Scarecrow Man. In 2008. In this CGI animation for small children. Cute. Moving on. I spent way too much time on Sazae-san. I gotta move. I gotta schmoove. Scarlet Demon from 1989. Okay, no change. Scarlet Sunshiro from 1969. Kurenai Sanshiro, or Judo Boy. give the mixed run-of-the-mill adventure series characterized by some innovative filming techniques. Yeah. Gotta check the first book. Okay. School. From 2011. It's just called School. Judo Boy is one of the first few 60s TV series to be fully subbed. Yeah, wow. Is Speed Racer fully subbed? I actually don't know if it is or not. The outcome is predictable. I'll just put mixed because it says predictable, prettily rendered. Yeah, Funimation did it. Wow, that's awesome. I don't know Sanshiro because the first anime with Mitsuko Horie song in it. Nice. School days. School days. Let's see what these guys have to say about school days. Yeah, IRC Yuso is watching all Speed Racer sub. Nice. Yeah, yeah. It looks great. I would say that the sub, like the HD version of that, like the quality it's in, looks great. School Days is a masterpiece. I don't care what anyone says. I love I think it was Roger's video on School Days. Really gave me a good respect for it. Well, let's see if they picked that up. Makoto falls in love with a beautiful girl who takes the same train to school every day. I know it's going. Let me see if they actually spoil this one. Let's see if they spoil this one. And I'm going to say what the spoiler is for those of you who. Let me know now if you don't want to hear spoilers. But I'm gonna read it, and then when I get to the spoiler, I'll see if anyone's typed no spoilers, and I won't say them. But if I don't see anyone, then I'll read it. Makoto falls in love with a beautiful girl who takes the same train to school every day. She's in his school, but not in his class. He enlists the help of his old friend Sekai to help him get to know Kotonoha, without realizing that Sekai is in love with him herself, compared to Video Girl Ai. The stage is set for another harem anime, based on a porn dating game, this time by Overflow. It gained unexpected notoriety by a terrible coincidence. The final episode of the TV series contains... I'm sorry for their School Days take. I don't remember anything I said in those videos. But they are the only ones I still get views on. Damn, haha. They actually don't really spoil it. They allude to it, though. They don't really spoil it, though. It gained unexpected notoriety by a terrible coincidence. The final episode of the TV series contains extreme violence. And the day before it was to be aired, a 16-year-old Kyoto girl killed her father with an axe in somewhat similar circumstances. This led several TV stations to replace the episode with a soothing interlude of landscape film and classical music. They reference Nice Boat. They reference Nice Boat at least. But guys, did you know about the coincidence of the real-life murder? I did not. I did not know that. I think everybody assumed that, like, they did it just because that's how violent it was. But I did not know that that was a real-life coincidence. That was a real-life thing. Did any of you know that? Yeah, I knew about it. Alright. 22-minute internet animation has been released in 2005, and 2 video spin-offs followed in 2008. Special has all the characters from the game and anime playing roles in a fantasy good versus evil magical girl story. The hot spring episode required by the laws of fan service, ending with half a dozen girls fighting over who gets to give Valentine's Day chocolate to Makoto. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. I did. I think I knew in the back of my head. Okay. Yeah, that's just dismissive. They really, they didn't even fuck with it, really. Stage is set for another harem anime. No take other than harem, ew. Yeah, I thought that was common knowledge. No, I guess not. I think it's been essentialized, or at least I felt it was essentialized. I don't feel like that always gets brought up. I think everyone just brings up a nice boat. I was not ready for this level of lukewarm, though. Yeah. Disappointing. Oh well. Can't get juice from it all. It comes from the most unexpected places, I guess. 1998, School for Thieves. Okay. Yeah, it's a like one typo thing that's different, but I don't care. Schoolgirl. 2006. The very limited animation of Toei's Ganime series offers some interesting combinations of style and image. I like this one. They were positive about this one. Delicate images and music make perfect companions for this nostalgic trip. Very limited animation offers some interesting combinations of style and image. I like how the Seiyu for Sekai is now Sekai VTuber. She does some school age related streams. Oh, that's fun. School girl special lesson 2000. They actually have a question mark on the 2000. Let's see if they answer that. Okay, they don't really make mention of it. Never mind. It's just a porn. School of Bondage. 2004. That's 20. Thank you, Kinoko. Stupidity of that order is fortunately rare in real life. The only possible category for this is fantasy. Yeah. School of Darkness. Darkness is spreading. 1995. It doesn't show up over here. Oh no, it just says School Spirits. Inju Onna Kyoshi? What? Directed Izumu. movie that by Norio Keep. This is just a different thing. School of Darkness, School Rumble, School Spirits. Okay, there it is. Okay, School of Darkness is just a new title, I guess. Let me just double check, because I always have to. Ugh. Inju. H-I. Inju. Oh, nope. I think it's there. Inju Onakyoshi. Inju Kyoshi? Inju versus Onna Spy. Inju Kyoshi. Let's try 13. Page 13. Inju. Angel of Darkness. Kazuma Muraki. 4 episodes. Pink Pineapple. It's also Pink Pineapple. No, I think this is a different thing. Alright. Fine. Whatever. The ancient evil will have to join the queue. Why do you talk more about it? It's like, oh yeah, how disgusting. This whole article on the right over here. And then they keep going! It's like, God, shut up. Episode 2 and 3 take a slightly different tack and only tenuously related, packing a number of... it's like... Bakingly predictable B-movie logic. The authors only wish that there were a transcript of the pitch meeting for that one, not to be confused with Angel of Darkness, which is the one I found, or any of the myriads of other Tits and Tentacles titles out there. Achingly predictable B-movie logic. Illist aka Lust Beast Woman Teacher, is that into that name? Maybe. Well, I usually check the Japanese title because their index here, their index goes like, it lists all the names that they've put in the encyclopedia, and it puts the Japanese name. Like the ones that they put like the Japan or like AKA whatever, that'll be listed. So there's titles here that are listed like multiple times, just so you have absolutely, definitely positive. But like we can check Lust Beast Woman Teacher. HIJKL. They have Lust Beast Crusade Twin Angels, Lust Beast versus Female Spy, Lust Beast Academy, La Blue Girl, Lust Beast Fairies, Lust Beast Family Teacher, Lust Beast Great Battle, Lust Beast Great City, Lustful Beast Teacher, Celestial Beach Teacher. 13 is again is the one I looked up. The Angel of Darkness. Yeah, no, I don't think it's here. School Rumble. I think some of you might know this one, so I'll read it. It's kind of a well-known one, all things considered. 2004. Tenma Tsukamoto gets into the same class as the boy she's crazy about, only to hear that Oji Karasuma will transfer to another school next year. Desperate to get her man before the year is up, she tries everything to win his love, from shooting an arrow with a love letter attached straight at him, to disguising herself as a nurse. She even ropes in her sister and her friends to help out. Meanwhile, class troublemaker Kenji Harima has his eye on her, but she's no more interested in him than Oji is in her. Based in the manga by Shonen Magazine, followed in 2005 by a 2-part video sequel comprising of a series of outtakes and bonus scenes that fill in gaps and add extra spin to the situations already seen in the TV series. In the 2-part video, the previous 54 episodes. I didn't realize it was 54 episodes. Sheesh. The first season's 26, and then there's a second season. Yeah. Are finally wrapped up. We find out why Karasuma has been so spaced out and distant, see what makes Harima a good guy, and watch teenage girls get high on too much soda. And yes, people finally admit the feelings they've been discussing with everyone else in the school to the people who actually need to hear. A little chastising, but it's not really a full opinion. That's it. Well, that was a lot of lust beasts. Yeah. They did say that, like, not to be confused with all the other ones. Hey, when it's a hit, it's a hit. School spirits. School spirits. QRS, TUV, WXY, and Z. Yes, that was a Super Y reference. Not a fan of that show, but that did get in my head. You win, show. School spirits. Another entry in the spooky school genre typified by Here Comes Hanako. Disgracefully repackaged after the rental release as 10-15 minute tapes for retail. Yeah, just dismissive. Spooky school genre. Ah, yes. We're out of school. Sci-Fi Harry. This one goes out to my mutual Invader Alex. I'm gonna read this one in case he ever. I doubt he ever will. But I do this for him. Harry McQueen is a shy 17-year-old who gets picked on by school bully Chris and his gang because they know he won't fight back. Harry's imagination is his escape route, fantasizing that he's the hero of one of his favorite TV shows. He retreats behind the screen into an imaginary world where he can kick Chris's butt. Then we begin to see another side to Harry. When his friend Kate, who has always stood up to him for him, is kidnapped by the bullies, Harry suddenly appears to save her, although he has no idea how or why. And then a bizarre series of murders occur. Based on the manga by Nighthead creator Joji George Ida and Asami Tojo, set in the fantasy land of the US and loaded with American names clearly aimed squarely at a foreign release from the get-go, this might at first sight seem an unlikely project for the studio that brought you JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, but events soon take a turn for the surreal. Again, why do they have to? They don't do this often. They're not. This isn't like a normal thing for them. But why do they have to be like, oh, this studio made this thing, and now they're making this thing? Like, yeah, anime studios can make whatever they want. there's certain things that they're good at and have, you know, typecast, but like what. But like that doesn't stop. They're like, wow, the guys who made JoJo's. Like it's not the same author or something. Sci-fi Harry OP is pretty dope. It's just Senyo Ohira going crazy the whole time. Isn't Ohira the animator who did the Legend of Black Heaven OP? Is that someone else? I feel like it might be someone else, but when I think about Ohira, I'm like, actually, that could be him too. There's a couple other animators I'm forgetting, just really cool OP. Yeah, awesome. Didn't really give an opinion about that. Let me just read the 3rd edition. Yeah. I just want to point this one's just. Oh, here's the Wobbly Lines guy. But I'm sure there's other Wobbly Lines guys. I don't want to assume, but that's my guess. Oh, here did a lot of work on Spirited Away too. It's honestly what he's most famous for. Also, hi. Yeah, good to see ya. Science Fiction and Robots is this big article for them, and I'm skipping it for now. Scientific guys from 2013. Although if someone set up a biological science club, they might like to point out that boobs don't naturally come in sizes that big. Fun. It's animation. Come on. Scold with dirty words. Hashimoto did some cuts for the Black Heaven OP, and he was also a sci-fi area. Okay, it's Hashimoto. Gotcha. Scold with dirty words from 2010. Porn story. Novel take on workplace discipline and leadership styles. Well, insofar as there is a story, and in 20 minutes you can't tell very much story if you have to leave most of the running time free for sex scenes. I see. I really can't gauge their opinion there is sarcastic or not, so I'm not gonna count it. Scooper's 1987. Based on a manga by Lupin third creator Monkey Punch. I didn't know. Actually, it kind of seems like a kind of a fun time. It's like a sci-fi thing, a little mystery bit. Scrapped Princess. I know they say this every time. But what is the point of covering random H anime? Couldn't tell you. The thing is, I can't gauge if they've gotten all of them or the majority of them or how much they've actually covered. More Monkey Punch interested. This is from 2003. often playing like slayers with comedy teen angst. As Pacifica eternally frets that the world would be a happier place if she simply died, Scrap Princess maintains the steady series of opponents and missions of the week while building up to Pacifica's final redemption and absolution. Attractive design and good character development and interaction to enliven the well-worn premise of a fantasy world growing out of a sci-fi global war. Alright, look at that positive. It's a lukewarm positive, but it's positive. Yeah, we always tease Rags because he didn't like Scoopers, and myself and other folks watching it thought it was fun. I was able to nab a Blu-ray of Scrap Princess very recently. Lucky, because, like with most things, Funny Crunchy let it go out of print. H-anime with famous names attached are only ones that have at least some merit, the rest is just garbage. But you could say that about any genre. They'd probably ask what's the point of covering all these random slice of life anime, but we wouldn't want them to skip those. Yeah, that's fair. I think Kinoko makes a good point where it's sort of like they're treating it all with respect. You know, all of it. What I would want, respect, is coverage, at the very least. But to what extent that respect is, I don't know if respect necessarily means included at all. It then matters of like how well is it represented? Is it represented accurately? Is it represented fairly? Is it represented in a way that isn't just a checkbox? It's just like, check, right? It's not an obligation. Because that for me, that applies to a lot of the short articles. I literally just glanced over and saw Scried, and I saw how tiny it is. Look at this. Look how that's their entire article for Scried. In the near future, Kanagawa Prefecture becomes the lost ground in alternate reality, where light and darkness duel for control of locals' hearts, seizing her cosmos' inner child who has never let the world of lost ground forced into conflict. That's it. That's it. And the animation and music are not credited. It came out in 2001. You know, it's in the first edition. It's in the first edition. Yeah, that's all they fucking say about it. Like, okay. Two sentences. I actually have the old DVD of this. Need to watch it yet. So since Friday the Ichiro Sakaki was a really underrated light novel writer. He's written so many titles that have had anime and people don't seem to mention his works. Did they spoil the twist? I don't know what the twist was. Maybe. Yeah, they kind of spoiled the twist of Scrap Princess. You aren't supposed to know it's sci-fi. Okay. I'm gonna put subtly then. Setting-wise. At least those have plot and characters. They're not just excuse for sex scenes. What's wrong with sex scenes? If that's what you want in anime, why should that matter? I mean, if I was reading a film encyclopedia, I wouldn't want the author to stop and talk about random porn films. I guess my comment was poorly worded. I meant most people that watch H-anime aren't watching for detailed plot and characters. The thing is, though, what you're doing there is also no different from what they're doing. Kind of generalizing an entire group of fans who are watching that stuff. You know, and that's why I'm saying that, like, what they're doing is not unique, is not weird for them. This is what a lot of fans do. A lot of things that they're doing here is stuff that I've done in the past. It's stuff that people in this comment section, not just now or whatever, not just now, but like in general, and on Twitter and on Reddit and on YouTube and everywhere. This is just a general fan sentiment. That common mistakes that I think kind of bog down conversation or stifle it or skew it in a way that is unproductive or potentially damaging. Potentially. Obviously, this is all just, this is all just what it is at the end of the day. It's not people's lives. But still. It would be nice if the book declared if something was a hentai or not. That's all I have to say. No, I 100% agree with that. For sure. I'm sorry if I'm coming up as overly harsh. I've had a rough day, all that. Yeah, don't worry about it. I understand. That would be much better. I'd argue that H-anime, by nature of being anime, takes a lot more effort than the average live-action adult film. Yeah, no, and that's kind of part of my reason of why I was saying that they all deserve respect, is because this stuff did get made, and it takes a lot of effort to get there. I don't know if I would say that every piece of art deserves respect in the same way, because it depends on the medium. You think about like DeviantArt or YouTube or fanfiction.net, and not to say all these are the random crap or whatever, but it's all user entered. It's all like amateur and professional. It's a mix. Whereas anime is such a difficult process that like even if an independent one gets made, and it's like Voices of a Distant Star from Makoto Shinkai, that's one guy. It's pretty much an independent type of thing. Just animation in general is such a hard process. That's something I can't help but respect no matter who's doing it. So any animation on YouTube for me deserves some modicum of respect as a medium, as being a part of that medium. But as someone who's made YouTube videos and knows how easy it is to just upload a 2-second black clip to YouTube and there's literally nothing to it, literally nothing, and that can range, so that's the entire gambit, or test versions of things, or whatever, And then, like I said, with the DeviantArt, DeviantArt is everything from the most elaborate Photoshop, like whatever, comics, but also people's sketches on lined paper when they were 6. And like, that's cute, and I'm not gonna shit on a kid's drawing and being like, oh, it's not as good as this other thing. Like, I'm not gonna, that's stupid. But there is something to be said with just like, acknowledge that for what it is. But with animation, the fact that it got to this stage and was released regardless of its flaws, regardless of its storytelling shortcomings or what it tries to focus on instead, or tastes and preferences, or even just competency and quality and stuff. People making fun of some of the seasonal stuff happening right now. There's like that one show that has like live action footage with like a guy's face, like an anime face on top of the guy, and people are kind of like, are you fucking serious? I mean, I still kind of like the balls on that. I still kind of find that interesting. What other anime is going to do that, I don't necessarily, you could say stuff is poor choices and things are not to your taste, but that's kind of where I'm getting at, where I'm like, just animation in general is such a difficult thing. It was interesting too because the same director, Masui, were reunited with Bones to adapt another Ichiro Sakai in 2014, Chaika. Yeah, I remember hearing comparisons with Chaika and Scrap Princess. Makes sense. I just more H anime didn't involve lollies or R word. Yeah. I think I've said this before, but that's also why anime is also much more conservative in things compared to manga or games. I've only watched H anime made by notable staff, so my overall knowledge is limited. Yeah, me too. On an unrelated, wholesome, positive topic, I'm really excited for Animal Treasure Island you guys released. I've never seen it yet. Yeah, it looks fantastic. Because it's a movie, I had to do the chapters. So like when you go through the Blu-ray to skip around the movie or to get to a certain part, I'm the one that chooses those points in the movie. Obviously, when it's a TV series, it's obvious. It's like start, end of OP, eye catch if it has one, usually does, or you have to kind of figure it out sometimes. ED, next episode preview. That's it. It's very routine. Movies have a more creative edge to them, and I also have to choose thumbnails. I choose the chapters, and I also choose the thumbnails that they use in the DVD. So those are my choices in that if you get that release. Yeah. A hand, right? You see Dream Hunter Rem? That's kind of a cheat since it's only the first episode is H. Anyway, sorry, that was Scried as well. Yeah, I read Scried. Sorry. Sea Cat. By the way, I read Scried and there's nothing to it really. It's very short. And I gave positive scrap. Yeah, that's it. Sea Cat from 1988. It's not in here. She's not in there. And there's no Japanese title. I don't see it. New entry. Experimental film. Saida, Shunji Saida, a talented animator who worked on Nausicaa and Grave of the Fireflies. A team of animators contribute one shot each. It's a 20-minute short. The movie was never distributed, but loaned out for small screenings, a method called hall projection in Japan. Interesting! Good, I just found this interesting. Sea Cat. Hall projection. Sea of the Ticonderoga. 91. On the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Nice touch. Environmentally themed anime. Oh, Ticonderoga. Because there's an extra N in here. But they don't... Ticonderoga. No, they don't put that like that in the title itself. It's Ticonderoga. And then they're like, the extra N in Ticonderoga may be a genuine error in transcription or an attempt to distance the story from real events, since the anime continues with Ashika, a boy from a Japanese fishing town. Then again, if you were a whale given a choice between nuclear contamination and talking to Japanese fishermen, which would you choose? They don't really give their opinion otherwise. Okay. It's like a nature conservation film. Sea Prince and the Fire Child. Elemental? 30 done. Thank you, Kinoko. But just going out the first two overfiends, they don't really change my perception. Yeah, I of course. I know animation's hard work. That's why something of poor quality sucks so much. Why all that wasted effort for nothing? It's not really... That's the thing. It's sort of like these things happen sometimes. I don't know the precise details about the Redfall situation, the video game that Xbox released that is performing terribly. It's just doing awful. And obviously receiving very, very poor reviews. And there's just genuine deception also involved, where, like, you know, the game promised one thing and it's literally wasn't built that way. And there's a whole, like, Phil Spencer interview about it, which is really interesting. Xbox no Fieldes. And you know, we don't know really what happened in that situation. But I really like, in a historian's video of No Man's Sky, The Engoodening of No Man's Sky, where he talks about the creative process and the situation that they found themselves in, kind of over-promising and under-delivering, and getting absolutely shat on, and how do you deal with that, and faced with that situation, because it's not like they're doing this shit on purpose, it is sort of like either a time thing or a miscommunication thing, or just genuine wasn't good enough to do the task involved, or they were distracted. I don't know. There's plenty of reasons that could be, but we never really find that sort of thing out. The audience only sees the end result. Man, that Square entry was disappointing. Yeah, it's nothing. There's nothing. It's just summary. Hard agree. Might be able to finish the stream before I go up to go for MG. Maybe. Let's just see. You never know. It could be just run into something that I'm on for 30 minutes. Speaking of Redfall, the dev Arcane hasn't made a good game since 2017. I think there may be some issue with upper management over there. Yeah, it could be that. You never know. See Prince and the Firechild. Yeah, this is literally Elemental. The Disney-esque animation style looks charming. That's how they end it. That's just it. That's it. The Disney-esque animation looks charming. Like, oh yeah, cool. Are you gonna give any credit to Masami Hata? Bro. Come on. No, nothing. Okay. That's it. Okay. Let's check the first edition real quick. Sorry. Yep, that's it. That's no change. Seas, Dark. Oh, sorry. Sea Story from 2009. Okay, I was about to be like, are you going to keep describing it? Are you going to describe the whole movie? No, thankfully they stopped. Compared to Ponyo, which similarly refashions elements of The Little Mermaid, albeit in a far classier way. Sheesh. At least they say it's pretty. Sheesh. Microsoft does have the tendency to buy studios and not know what to do with them, most famously Rare. That's why I regret having an Xbox One. No goddamn games! Yeah. Sea Turtle and the Boy. Let's hear it for the boys! 2008. Wartime. Bleakly Beautiful Fable. Moon's Chateau. We're also on SE, I just realized. I only just now realized. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no change. Secret. Akko. Himitsu. Sore wa Himitsu no Akko-chan. That OP did grow on me. At first I was just like, that's a little shrill. And then I'm like, damn it, it's catchy. Fuck. The ED's better though. I like the ED a lot. Let me show you the. I don't know if I've ever played the ED on stream. I feel like I have. Yes, I definitely have. I remember looking this up. Never mind. I'm not doing that again. Okay, moving on. Akko-chan. This is a show I'm actually watching right now. So let's see how they do with it. They got Rare Replay, Forza, Sunset. Yeah, that's it. Killer Instinct. Got that one. Sea of Thieves. Really? It's been a console for a long time. It's on PC. I give Microsoft credit for actually letting Rare make a game they wanted to make. Okay. Helpful 10-year-old Akko usually takes good care of her belongings, especially her old mirror, brought back as a present from India by her father. She polishes it every night before she goes to bed, but one night she accidentally breaks it. Very sad, she buries the pieces in the garden. That night, the spirit of the mirror wakes her and gives her another mirror to thank her for cherishing the old one. Her new present is a compact with the power to transform the owner into any person or animal she chooses if she says a magical word. But the fairy warns Akko that she must keep the spell and the powers of the mirror a secret. Akko uses her new powers to solve the problems of friends and neighbors in her quiet hometown, and as her confidence grows, she transforms into animal shapes and even goes to other countries. Based on 1962 manga series by Fujio Akatsuka, who also created Osamatsu-kun and Genius Idiot Bakabon, Shimizu no Akko-chan was the next magical girl series after Little Witch Sally and confirmed the appeal of the formula. The series was remade in 1988 with Hiroki Shibata as director and new character designs from Yoshinori Kanemori. Shibata returned for a third 28-episode TV season on TV Asahi in 1998. 28 episodes? It's not 28. It's more than 28. Hold on. Akko 3 is 44. Akko 3 is 44 episodes, so that's not correct. But other than that, not bad. But it's sort of like, it's sort of the synopsis you've heard before. It's, you know, it just seems like, you know, you hear about like her taking care of this mirror and shit. Dude, you watch the 1969 series, the first shot is the mirror being buried. It's already been buried, and she just kind of like, yeah. I just figured it was sad that I broke it and I wanted to. She's a little sentimental, right? And then the fairy comes to her. She's like, "Thanks for that. That's really cool. You should have this one. Here's this new compact." And it's not like a mirror. It's like a compact. And she's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then she sees a little inscription on it. And I forget the first transformation she does, but the first one she does, like the first one she like actively tries, is like once she realizes with what it can do, she's like, "Okay, make me a princess." So she's just like, you know, typical girl thing. Not to generalize, but like, yeah, just pretty outfit. Oh, sweet. And then she like untransforms, and then she's like, the first thing she does basically after that, she's like, "Yo, mom, check this out," and she tries it in front of her mom, and it doesn't work. And it's not like oh, you have to keep it secret. It's more like you can't show anyone or it just won't work. So it's pointless. if you show it to people. And then I believe at some point later, I think they do give genuine consequences, but not really. It's more of just like a don't do this, or you can't really explain it. And there are some instances, some episodes where the mirror just kind of doesn't work right, or does some weird things. It's not a thing she has full control over, really. And it does other things besides turning her into animals and stuff. It actually can teleport her. It can actually, you know One Piece with the mirror world, where she can have mirrors and then she can like enter through the mirror world and like enter through other places where there's a mirror. It's the same concept, and so Akko's been able to teleport to places using that. Sometimes, very rarely, and that's like a little later development. But yeah, she can do that. There was another one where like the mirror kind of gave someone amnesia or something. It's weird. Couple little loosey-goosey rules, of course. But yeah, that is the extent of it, pretty much. Let me check the third edition. Yeah, the whole like bringing back a present from India from her father and da-da-da-da-da. When they say she transforms into animal shapes and even goes to other countries, she does, but not because of the mirror or anything. There's like an episode that just takes place in the jungle and they're fighting pirates and it's like not explained at all. And I don't think she rarely uses her mirror in that episode, actually. It's interesting. I have to look at the grand scheme of things. But at least in the first season, they really didn't know what to do with that fucking power. And so they end up just kind of creating normal everyday slice of life things. Well, you know, normal as you can get. They have some action, they kind of have some crazy stuff happen. And the most that they give her is like transform into something to scare this character, or transform into a pigeon to just get to one place to the other. That's it. For a lot of these episodes, there's not much in the way of like transforming in interesting scenarios. The best episodes are when she gets into a weird scenario because of a power. Those are the best ones, for sure. Or like actually has to do with her character. But a lot of the time it doesn't. It's unfortunate. I don't know the Mirror World yet, except Film Red spoiled me. Yeah. I'm behind on Wano, so my mind went to JoJo when you said Mirror World. Oh, okay. Film Red confused me in some aspects because I'm not caught up enough. Still, I see Film Red. Yeah, it's fantastic. You pretty much only... I don't even think you need to watch Wano. Kind of. The thing is, like, not even the TV anime is at the point where Film Red kind of spoils Wano, in a way, but whatever. But I'm not really gonna write anything particular on that. They do add a bit about a live action movie though. ...2012 live action film. I'm gonna see it for director alone. Yeah, Goro Taniguchi. This is from 1997, Secret Anime series. It's porn. But it's a very long porn article. Because it's like a bunch of different ones. Unsurprisingly, these titles register a very low level of interest from all parties concerned. Starting with the original creators, since only Pianist has a remotely interesting plot, and even that is riddled with holes, the sex is even less entertaining, let down by substandard animation. Most noticeable is the overuse of flashbacks, a relatively easy trick using digital animation, allowing, for example, multiple scenes of video playback. The low budget also shows in traditional ways, such as very limited backgrounds in several episodes and heavy reliance on pans across single images. What's the fuck's wrong with heavy reliance of pans across single images? If the single images are good, then fuck off, then get fucked. With such bad workmanship at the Japanese end, it comes as little surprise that the US dubbing crews seem similarly disinterested in the material. Bad performances from actors who clearly wish they were somewhere else. Producing porn will always be a thankless task, but secret anima is a particularly low-rent example of the genre, unlikely to satisfy fans of anime or erotica. Let me read the third edition. Look how fucking long this is. It starts here, all that, and then that. So long. Because they're describing every episode because they're released separately. This is exactly what they did with Cream Lemon. Porn genre. They also added something, secret anima series added. Ep 1 was re-released by New Tech. I was confused by the one guy from Enies Lobby who was suddenly cool with Luffy. Doorfruit guy. Blue now. I think that's from the manga only art because I don't remember them making nice in the anime. They don't. They don't make nice in the anime. What happened in it's not that Bluno is nice in Film Red. It's that he's working for the Navy the same way Kobe is in that I won't spoil what's happening in that movie, but they have to begrudgingly team up, but they're not like playing nice necessarily. And what is original about it, though, is that originally Oda did not intend Bluno and Khalifa to be part of Aegis Zero. But the film Red convinced him to allow those characters to come back in that capacity. So I believe they're technically confirmed for Aegis Zero as of that movie. Kind of like with Aokiji and his leg. Sorry if that's very, very current with One Piece right now. Like a movie, a certain thing that happened in one of the One Piece movies with Aokiji has been later codified in the manga, like in the very latest chapter. What's going on? Did I miss anything good? Nothing too juicy, really. It's been an okay reading. Man, they really hate Dazaki's style, don't they? Oda sometimes has mini arcs to cover pages. Yeah. Sometimes animating what needs to be anime is enough. But with hentai, it can be really annoying in ways that it wouldn't otherwise be in regular anime. Yeah. They said girls are easily entertained in their Save Me Lollipop article. Yeah. Don't you just love kids or stupid comments? I've noticed each anime with notable staff tend to be more fluidly animated. It's one of my few compliments of Overfiend. Anyway, moving on. Secret Desires. 2002. Bits of porn again. They just kind of make a comment on the plot, how weird it is, but that's not like a, particular opinion one way or another. Secret face of my wife. My wife. It's not that. It's my wife, but yeah. From 2010. I'm already guessing it's porn. It's porn. Yeah, it's porn. Negative. As incoherent as it is unpleasant. Well, ever consider how much porn you'll have to read about when you get to the letter X? I already know that X is not a very long article. It's not a very long section. But that's fair. That's funny. X is literally actually it only has X the movie. There's literally 4 articles in X. X the movie, Zabungle, Xanadu, and Extreme Team. In the first edition, just those. Final 10. Let's get it. Let's fucking go. Let's do more. Secret Garden from 1991. I'm here for it because I came out from working 8 to 4. I'm tired as hell, and now tomorrow I have a shift from like 9 to 4, and then after that I have to actually work on more things to do. So I'm okay with this. At least they talk about the X-Men anime. I guess I was wrong. Well, there's also the upcoming sex on this stream since he's on SE now. Yeah. A lot of the porn was in school, Bob. When they have like all the school, like school this, school that. A couple porn titles in that. It does condense. There's like a couple that have similar, yeah. Secret Garden. It's a 39 episode show, 91. They don't really give an opinion. They just mention that it's the same thing. We love efficiency. Well, I stood from 6 a.m. from 6 p.m. Sheesh. Oh Lord. Of course there'd be a lot in school. Yeah. Secret Hot Springs Tour. 2006. Well, I saw a word. I'm like, it's porn. But wait a minute. Hold on. No, that's... Yeah, I think that's porn. That's a shame. Oh. We suspect that the Pill Gates credited for planning alongside Ponzu, Poopy, Itosai, may be using a pseudonym, as may producer Katzen Hamburg. Okay, moving on. Secret of Blue Water. It's Nadia. Nadia. I'm gonna put that on actually. I want to see if that's there on YouTube. I might get copyright claim. I don't give a fuck. Nadia song. No, it's not showing up. Nadia anime. Secret of Blue Water, John's song. Yeah.
I did it! It's
Oh, it's in
perfect!
English.
And the music's perfect too. And now, just sing it.
What? A song?
Yep, a song just for you, and it's all of my creation.
I want to listen to it in English.
Creation ukulele.
Well, that answers that question.
Is this it? Please. Yes! Yes, I got it.
譜面もバッチリ。あとはナディアだ。君の歌だよ。君のために作ったんだ。
何ですかこれは。
全自動ウクレレ演奏機さ。あ、
I'm gonna
いい
just...
ですよ。
Look at this Chad.
ナディア。ナディア。
Okay.
僕の気持ちを聞いてくれよ。
Paris is the scene of the 1889 International Exposition. Young inventor Jean meets circus acrobat Nadia. He rescues her from a strange gang of comical villains out to steal her necklace. And the pair set off on an amazing adventure that takes them far beneath the seas and all around the world. They face racism in France, I guess, a little bit, and cold-blooded killing on a remote Pacific island. See a flying contest with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as one of the entrants. I guess. It's like a Blinky You Miss It reference, I guess. And share a dream sequence in which they ride in something suspiciously like Thunderbird 2. They face the last remnants of Atlantis and join the fight to save the world from domination by a mad genius. Along the way, they learn that their origins are less important than what they make of themselves. And that while love can conquer all, it doesn't guarantee a happy ending. The 1993 movie Nadia and the Mystery Series of the movie Fuzzy Secret takes up the story some years later, with John rescuing a mysterious girl and the impact this has on his stormy relationship with Nadia. While working at Toho Studios in the 1970s, the young Hayao Miyazaki, yeah, of course they did, pitched a scenario to his bosses inspired by Jules Verne, creator of Adrift in the Pacific. Set in the 19th century, Around the World in 80 Days by Sea would use two Veneran concepts: a trip around the world by two plucky characters on the run from bad guys, and the mighty submarine Nautilus, commanded by Captain Nemo, who has a secret past of his own. Toho didn't make the series, but held on to the option. Miyazaki later used various elements of the idea in Future Boy Conan and Castle in the Sky, but it wasn't until the critical triumph of Wings of Honimies that Toho dusted off the outline and approached Gainax to turn it into a TV series. Super warp. I looked at SBW. They abbreviated Nadia as SBW, and I was like, Super Robot Wars. Was conceived as a blatant pitch to the mass audience. Very rarely has this approach produced a show of such enduring charm and emotional validity. The combination of Venean adventure, Dickensian richness of characterization, particularly in the comical semi-villains Grandis, Sanson, and Hanson, nods and winks to more contemporary classics, and steampunk technology was irresistible, propelling the series to success and Nadia to an enduring place in the list of fans' favorite characters. I'm still waiting. In Nadia, the Gainax team created the Gainax team. You gotta hand it to Studio Gainax. Oh, no way. So, okay, I've read this much. I don't know how much more there is. Are they about to do it again? Are they about to do this again? No way. In Nadia, the Gainax team created a heroine who was beautiful and independent, yet alone and unsure of her place in the world, capable of anger and courage, yet completely opposed to killing, a heroine of color and an animal rights advocate ahead of her time. Young hero John, a brilliant but naive kid with total faith in technology and innocent of the world's deceits and cruelties, is an orphan as she is. The two are bonded by loss and alienation. Despite the sunny color palette of the show and its upbeat pacing and music, the audience quickly realizes that a dark and terrible fate is always waiting just out of shot, threatening to engulf the young couple. The same team's later hit Evangelion... They're not. No way. No way. The same team's later hit Evangelion brought the lurking darkness into the foreground. The impact of several violent scenes, which are never gratuitous but likely to be shocking to a modern Western audience in a children's series, foiled an attempt in the mid-1990s to get the show onto UK television screens. Secret of Blue Water was released on DVD as Nadia Secret of Blue Water in the US in 2001, just in time to invite insidious comparisons between it and the new Disney cartoon Atlantis at the Lost Empire. Though the filmmakers admitted to an interest in the works of Hayao Miyazaki, they denied any knowledge of Secret of Blue Water, compared to the controversy surrounding Kimba the White Lion. You guys... Let me put the music back on. I cannot believe they did it again. You gotta hand it to Studio Gainax. Oh! No. No. No way. No way. No way. Where's Anno? Look, I get it that it was based on an idea by Miyazaki, but they mention him twice and not... The same teams later hit Evangelion? Are you fucking kidding me? What's going on? No. Not under N? That's weird. Let's see how this inspired panning and stocking. Huh. Cringe Ano comment? No! Worse! They just didn't mention Ano at all! Making me. They didn't even mention the filler shit. They didn't even mention the fact that it was supposed to be 26 and then they extended it to 39 or something. I don't remember the precise circumstances that led to that arc. Like, that's such an infamous thing to talk about, and they don't even fucking bring it up. They don't even register it. They're like, oh yeah, this is part of the show. Like, really? Making me relive the trauma from the group watch. Nadia's on one of the goats. The machine of Nadia is in a Super Robot War game that fits the hacker known as Gynex. Do they not bring up Ano? Gotta head to Gynex. Wow, just completely erasing his existence. They don't talk about Ano, but they do talk about British television. Gotta give it to the UK. I appreciate an article about Nadia that does not mention article. It is a little refreshing. But like, everything is only Gynex, nobody else. And Miyazaki. Come on, guys. Studios are just single people. Staff, what's that? Also, IRC from Steven's Ano video, he didn't want it to feel like Miyazaki? Miyazaki's the only anime director, right, everyone? Did they mention the re-edited movie? They mentioned the movie. They mentioned the 1993 movie. That's a sequel. That's like a new animated movie, but it's not a re-edit. It's not a re-edit of the series, though. Oh my gosh. Well, at least they liked it. Okay, I gotta read the first edition. Nadia, Secret of Blue Water. Show of such enduring charm and emotional validity. Vernian adventure, Dickensian richness of characterization. Irresistible steampunk tech. Heroine ahead of her time. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm gonna actually them a little bit here. Just a little bit. The one thing they had that Nadia has over Nausicaa is that she's a person of color. If that's anything, not to diminish it, but sure, representation's important for sure. But like, I don't know. I don't want to take a fucking political side on this, because obviously other people, like, certain people of certain political ideology is like, it shouldn't be a big deal. Like, to me, I like Nadia a lot, but it's nothing to do with her skin color. It just isn't. I think that's fine, and that's cool. Like, sure, that's a trait. Okay. And I'm not trying to be someone like, I don't see race or something like that, but it's just like, all right. I had a bunch of video games too. I believe they were important for keeping Gynax afloat monetarily. I'd be okay if they didn't want to focus on Anna, but they don't mention him at all. They boil it down to Gynax. It's not one individual. It's Gynax as a studio, and that's just dumb. Like, give credit to the heroine, like the character designer, Sadamoto. And they give credit to him in his bio in the encyclopedia that he's one of the most like well-known iconic character designers outside of Ghibli, which is true. Give him credit in the fucking thing. Isn't there a re-edit? Yeah, just fan edits. Wasn't Nautilus cut edited by Anno? That's the edit I'm thinking of. I've never watched it myself. Sounds very strange. Almost surprised they didn't bring up the porn of Nadia. Like, yeah. I'm not sure we're explicitly told what Nausicaa's racial identity is. I like how they bring up that Nadia is of color, but I'm pretty sure all of Miyazaki's other characters are supposed to be Asian. From what I remember, no, not just inference. I thought that was Anno's idea, though. Yeah, but like what they described Nadia as. In Nadia, the Gynax team created a heroine who was beautiful and independent, yet alone and unsure of her place in the world, capable of anger and courage, yet completely opposed to killing, a heroine of color, and an animal rights advocate ahead of her time. The one thing Nadia has in that description that Nausicaa doesn't, who predates Nadia by at least 5 years, is that she's a person of color. A heroine of color. That's it. And in fact, I think Nausicaa is more complex. Not that there's a fucking competition, but I think Nausicaa is more complex because she's opposed to killing and yet kills someone in anger. Kills several people in anger. And that's a conflicting thing and unsure of herself, and like she's devastated by it. Completely colors her her actions in the rest of the film. Nadia never gets that like moral complexity. That's a strange comparison to make. They're fundamentally different characters. Nausicaa's a fairly diverse world. They're not bringing up Nausicaa, I am. But I'm reading that description, and I think every single thing applies. Yeah, they're different characters, but, like, you think about it, just basically, and what I'm irking about is that, like, it's this, like, ahead of her time, like, this character's never been made before. Beautiful and independent, I would say that just because they're different characters, both of them are beautiful and independent. Yet alone and unsure of their place in the world. I would say that Nausicaa is pretty alone. It's like she has allies, similar to how Nadia has allies with John and everything. But like, and also her, like, you know, the people around her. But she's alone in terms of the, like, her personal struggles and internal turmoil and what she's going through. And Nausicaa's in a similar place, because she's like the only character that seems to think that the toxic jungle has some answers to it. You know? And she's sort of alone, and she's like the only character that's like, I want to be amicable to the toxic jungle and the bugs, and to the people in my valley, and just humanity. I you know, it's not one or the other for her. Unsure of her place in the world in terms of taking sides, right? Capable of anger and courage. I would say both of them are very capable of anger and courage. Completely opposed to killing. And I think she is completely opposed to killing. But she does it in her anger, and that's what makes her interesting. Also, Nanska is a fairly diverse world. Even if they're fictional, they're inspired by a lot of different ethnic groups. Yeah, I don't know about like I wasn't even thinking about ethnicity or anything. It's not about ethnicity. It's just heroine of color, which I know what they're talking about. Dark skin color, specifically. Never mind the kind of nuances of Asian and whatever, I hate how they boil her whole personality to her race. They don't. They listed written off the whole thing. They don't boil it down to her ethnicity. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's the one thing that differentiates her, and this is like, oh, she's completely ahead of her time. And an animal rights advocate. Manga Nazca goes way further with her complexity too. Oh, I get that. I just came back from my shower. Did they bring up Disney's Atlantis? Yes, they did. They did. It was released on DVD as Nadia Secret of Blue Water in the US in 2001, just in time to invite insidious comparisons between it and the new Disney cartoon Atlantis the Lost Empire. Though the filmmakers admitted to an interest in the works of Hayao Miyazaki, they denied any knowledge of Secret of Blue Water, compared to the controversy surrounding Kimba the White Lion. Oh, right, I see. Yeah, I follow what you mean. I thought the article was making that comparison. You're definitely right there. Yeah. That and Kimba. Because I swear to God, that ruined Nadia for me. All I could do was watch Nadia and see how not at all similar to Atlantis it is. Yeah, they're two different stories. If I can ever muster the motivation, I'll do a YMS-style breakdown of how not similar to Atlantis it is. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Because, geez, I don't know how this was a decades-long convo. I didn't hear the whole article before. Roger, it's similar. It's no different from every fucking argument that I'm hearing about. I think I'm onto something that it's like it's all essentialism. It's all surface level. Atlantis, main character with glasses, love interest that's a person of color. The same thing. And it's like, are you kidding me? That's what you're gonna go off of? That's it? And they just make these fucking... And look, the encyclopedists are saying that this is an insidious comparison, too. But then they are kind of making this accusation... It's not an accusation, but it's a subtweet almost. It's like... So the filmmakers admitted to having... Oh, they admit it. To having an interest in the works of Hayao Miyazaki, they denied any knowledge of Secret of Blue Water. As if, like, the encyclopedists are actually like... No, they copied Nadia! Like, guys, come on. Come on. It's just not a good line of thinking. It's just not good to think. This is exactly what media poisoning gets you. You end up making this, like, pearl-clutching... Oh, it's a ripoff! Oh! It's another, like, it's like an inferiority complex of, like, how... Western animation or U.S. cartoons are more popular here than Japan, than anime. It's like, yeah, of course they are. It's the country of origin. Yeah, I didn't hear the whole article before. There's some small similar elements to Atlantis, but they're not similar at all. Most of these theories are made by people that hate Disney. They're never unbiased. You can do those comparisons with any media. And Mysterious Jewel. Right, yeah. I will say the island arc was probably my favorite part, if not... Of course it was. Of course it was for you, Roger. God damn it. And one of the reasons was because I felt I could sit back and just enjoy it as its own thing. That's fair. I'm surprised they didn't mention more Evangelion, especially when it was right before Eva. It wasn't right before Eva. It was 4 years. Nadia was 1990 to 91. And Eva was 95. They didn't make it. I make this point in my Gurren Lagann video. They were an anime studio that basically didn't make anime for more than 4 years. But I know what you mean. Similar scope, for sure. Like the sea battles paralleling the angel fights or the children of war. They do mention that like the same hit teams later hit Evangelion brought the lurking darkness into the foreground. Without giving myself a headache over these annoying comparisons. Thank you, someone agrees with me. Pre-production takes a while. Yeah, I guess, but not that long. Island Arc Defenders, rise up. I will have no part in it. Look, I think it's interesting. I think the Island Arc has some interesting points. But I'm happy that doesn't conflate to Africa Arc Defenders. Gainax works are at their best when everything is crumbling down. I love all those crazy twists and turns. I mean, I hate Disney as a corporation, but these conspiracies aren't sticking it to corporate. They're hurting the reputation of talented animators, writers, and directors. Yeah. Yeah. So, Karen ahead of her time. Yeah. Nadia. SMH. Alright. Secret of Cerulean Sand. I forgot I need to actually read the entire first fucking one. Ugh. I'm pretty sure I did. Wait a minute. Yeah, I did. I'm fine. Yeah, I did the whole thing. Okay, cool. This is from 2002. Gainax was recuperating from the loss of making Nadia. They recoup costs while making video games. Yeah, I get that. I like the first episode of the Africa arc. Other I don't care for. I remember you mentioning that in the video, but you didn't mention they were working on stuff like Princess Maker at the time. Yeah, because it's not anime. And they were doing co-productions. I'm like, they basically didn't make anime because they were doing some stuff like partnering on KO Beast Warriors or something. You know, they were completely inactive, but like, it was dire for them. Really dire, and that was the point I was trying to make. Didn't know they didn't make any shows for 4 years. Still need to watch your Grandma videos. Yeah, hope you do. It's a banger. Yeah, if it was Gainax's Final Fantasy. Everybody thought it would be their last work. Pretty much the same for me. Pada Pada Kosen no Boken. Yeah, you're right, Raj. The fuck? This is the Nadia clone that's huge in Norway to the point that they think Nadia is the ripoff. So they could still be ahead of its time even if it existed beforehand, especially since their archetype is rare. Nausicaa existing didn't mean a lot of strong female protagonists by the time Nadia. Yeah. But Nausicaa's a very prominent example. You know, it's not like I understand that point. I honestly, like, you know, I like to champion this idea of, like, just because you're the first doesn't necessarily mean squat, oftentimes. But, like, Nausicaa's a big deal. And Anno worked on Nausicaa. And it's a fucking Miyazaki movie. And Nadia's, you see the kind of the connection here? At least to me. I think there's more credence to it. It's not just like a random OVA or something. It's like, this did it! You know? It's the it's the director who that was the pitch, and it's interesting because they mention how he's like, oh, they used these concepts in Future Boy Conan and Castle in the Sky. Yeah, maybe like symbolically. But you think about the protagonist that they're like, wow, heroine. It's like, what about Nausicaa? You know, it's no different to me. So that was what was weird to me, I think. Secrets of Cerulean Sand. I know what you're talking about, though. Because I have the similar vibe of, like, just because something's, you know, existed before, you know. Like, well, also that, you know, being Nadia being ahead of her time. You know, I hate to be this guy, but, like, yes, Nadia was popular, at least in, like, the anime polls and stuff like that, as they say in the article here. But sort of, like, did she make the impact the same way Nausicaa did? You know? Not sure. Personally, not sure. Obviously, you're talking to someone who's extreme biased towards Nausicaa. Nausicaa is like my third favorite anime. My favorite anime film, literally, so. I understand I'm a little biased. I love how they make it like Miyazaki was a major force behind Nadia when he barely worked on it. That's the thing. It's like, oh, it's the original idea. Oh my god. Okay. Actually, sorry, that's a completely different article I just read. I read Secret of the Seal. Let me read Secret of Cerulean Sand. Wait a minute. It's Seed. Seed of the Mountain Princess is the last one. I know Kineko's been keeping track, but still. Jane Buxton. Here's the... may seem to echo the works of Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata. Thanks, guys. There you go. There you go. You mentioned Isao Takahata in a work that he didn't do, but then you don't mention him in Pompoko. Okay. Okay. Japanese-Korean co-production. Anti-heroes. Pastiched in Steam Boy. The plot also revolves around Jane's discovery of a stone with a mysterious power, echoing the secret of Blue Water, which was itself inspired by the works of Verne. This is also like based on two of Verne's works, apparently. The authors do not doubt for a moment that commercial concerns steered the producer's choice of material. Verne may not have been conveniently out of copyright, but the chance to claim to be using his story while actually pastiching Miyazaki's must have been irresistible. That's a weird statement, actually. I'm still interested, though. I never heard of this one. Or maybe I've seen the visual, because apparently Roger seems to know about it. Pata Kosen no Boken. Aw, yeah, that looks cute. That looks like fun. I just looked up the on Taiga. But let me click it on. Let me click on it, and I'll show you on Google. Search Google.
goog.
Isn't that cute? Yeah. Cute. Cute and good. Those are some nice designs. Ayo. Kind of gives me Medarot vibes. I'm not gonna lie. Wow. Yeah, I can kind of see that it's a Korean co-production almost. You know what I mean? It's got that vibe. It's got that angle. This looks cute. Yay. I'm a fan. Okay. But this is a weird paragraph here, actually. Hold on. The authors do not doubt for a moment that commercial concerns steered the producer's choice of material. Verne may have been conveniently out of copyright, but the chance to claim to be using his story while actually pastiching Miyazaki's must have been irresistible. Maybe to you, Mia superfan. I have a suspicion that the Miyazaki stuff is mostly coming from Helen. I'm gonna make that call. And you know, it's not too strong of a personal, like there's not too much personal evidence. But you know, I just watched something. I have to find it. Oh god. Actually, I can just do the same thing I did last time. Did they come up? Yes. Yes. So, we're not gonna watch the whole thing. It's 30 minutes. But, you know, it's the BBC in 1994 talking about manga. They don't even use the word anime. They refer to it as manga. And you know who that is? That's right. It's one of our co-authors, all the way back in 1994. And she started a magazine. They talk about how she started this magazine.
Dynamization's very, very well done. Only to be someone Rado's
All sorts from small run kits produced very often by fans in strange esoteric
Yeah,
materials.
he talks about his
resin.
partner Helen.
My first exposure to it was seeing a lot
Sorry,
of
let me
translated TV series in the 60s, things like Marine Boy.
I'll have to stay under for a long time, so I'll need this oxygum.
We've seen that. We read an encyclopedia about them. I wasn't familiar with
Back
how
then when I
this
was
is
a
one of
child,
the
I
older
didn't
localized ones.
know that these things originated in Japan, and probably didn't care. But
Of course, they used her
my
in
partner, Helen
Japanese.
McCarthy, started a
Yes.
little fanzine, just a photocopied newsletter to try and sort of rally people together who are interested in this thing, because we knew if we liked it, there must be loads of other people if they could just get in touch with each other.
Yeah. So that's what she's responsible for.
12 years old.
And yeah. So
My youngest reader that I know of is 12 years old. My oldest reader, as far as I know, is 58. And in age terms, I suppose the core bracket is sort of 17 to 25.
Uncut.
Yeah, but the reason I brought this up, that I think it's Helen that's doing the Miyazaki stuff,
London's West End.
is
People
when
have
they
seen them
bring
on
him
sale
up
in the shop.
here.
Antis.
Kawaii.
There is one man currently working who is surprisingly little known outside Japan. His name is Hayao Miyazaki, and he made the most successful film at the box office in Japan last year, Porco Rosso, The Crimson Pig.
Miyazaki is often referred to as the Disney of Japan. There is nothing in a Miyazaki film that you would be worried about your grandmother or your 5-year-old daughter seeing. That sounds derogatory. and it
Keep
isn't.
in mind, this was as of 1994. He has not made Princess Mononoke yet. He's not made Wind Rises yet. But even then, it's like I feel like Nausicaa and Castle in the Sky, you know, that they're not super graphic or anything, but 5-year-olds, I don't know. That's a bit of an ask, I think, but I know what she means. And also at this point, Future Boy Conan is not available. Not that Future Boy Conan is all that dark, really. It's not that like it's not Mononoke level of like graphic violence, but I don't know. Grandmother, I'm sure grandmother would be fine with it. I don't know. Yeah, Porco Rosso, kind of maybe.
Magical, lyrical filmmaker, an inspirational filmmaker, and I have huge respect for him. For example, in My Neighbor Totoro, the person he was aiming his film at when he made it was the young urban Japanese who has never experienced the magic of a country childhood because they've grown up in Tokyo, the metropolis, which has grown so vastly since the 50s and 60s. He creates a wonderful fantasy about Totoro, the elemental spirit of the woodlands.
より普遍的な、つまり日本の国内だけではなくて世界の人たちが見ても理解されるものを作る普遍的な表現力
Yeah,
を
I'm
持つた
sure
めに
you're
は
saying that, Mia, because you're talking to the BBC right now. And this is still as of 94, so like he had already, I don't know the exact like his exact policy or anything, but this was like back when like they tried releasing Warriors of the Wind and it completely wrecked any chance of Miyazaki movies making it over to the West until Princess Mononoke. For that entire period of time from like 86 when Warriors came out, I don't remember when Warriors came. It was really early. It was fairly early, I think. I'm pretty sure, as far as I'm familiar with. And it wasn't until Mononoke that like you had the Weinstein no cuts and then the Disney deal shortly after that. But that's why he's like it's not very well known outside Japan.
その中で私たちはフィルムを作るわけですから、その今までの同じ考え方でフィルムは作れない部分がいっぱいあります。
Yeah. Anyway, so that gave me vibes. I'm like, okay, it's probably you. It's probably Ellen. I have so many comments to read. It's funny people say Atlantis will help Nadia when this thing was some inspiration. How many times are they going to call Nadia Miyazaki? Yeah, interestingly enough, it takes inspiration from 2 different burn works. They mentioned that. They mentioned both burn works that it takes inspiration from. I had never heard of this either. Seems like a good watch. Someone in the server has been making watch Paravaticos in a Boken meme, and it's just the last 3 years. Of course. They keep posting him a place to get people to watch the show. That's cute. I know some friends who are obsessed with the show. Any fans from Norway? I made a couple of Padma memes actually. How many articles are left? I'm not sure. Close, probably. I have no trouble resisting temptations to critique Miyazaki on a daily basis. She did write a book on Miyazaki. Yeah. I love Miyazaki too, but I don't treat him as the king of anime. Oh, it's totally Ellen. She did a podcast for the place I would learn Japanese of in Manhattan, and she was talking about Mia Sensei for like an hour straight. She seems to really not like when people bring up that Mia liked Hakujada. What? She seemed to really not like when people bring up that Mia liked Hakujada. That's interesting. I've watched Marine Boy, so fascinating, it's done by Warner Brothers. Pretty Japanese, love the vibes. Helen's chill cute. Yeah. I went to a panel of hers. I don't know if I actually mentioned that on stream, but I went to her panel, one of her panels at Anime Boston. So I was in the room with her. I didn't go up afterwards and whatever, but I did this really chuny fucking thing. Like I'm so cringe sometimes. I like to fucking animate it. I did this like really as she was just talking to other people or whatever, I'm walking out of the room, and I salute her as I walk out the door. It's like it's a dumb anime thing to do or whatever. Just some dumb fucking... It's like Naruto reaching for Hokage and grabbing it. Shit like that. But like, it's cool. Whatever. Anyway, I'm cringe. Sorry. Oh, this is so dated. Yeah. Jeez, Jonathan Ross looks so different back then. My favorite otaku, Jonathan Ross. I gotta watch this sometime. Neat time capsule. No slight at all against the man, but he's genuinely a wonderful nerd. Miyazaki hates being compared to Disney since he feels their styles are nothing alike. Interesting. Roger Corman really had no idea how to localize anime, just like what he did to Angel's Egg. Whew. Fix volume again. Thank you. At least I didn't move on before, At least I didn't move on before doing that. Sorry. Should be 5 left. Thank you, Kinoko. Alright, Weird Proc, thank you for coming. Okay, to specify, Mark McCarthy didn't seem to like when people bring up Miyazaki's waifu in Hakujata. Okay, yeah, that's fair. And then she went on about how cultured and well-read Miyazaki is. Neat! Cringe shaves moment. Okay. Secret of the Seal, which I just read. I just have to compare it to the third. Yeah, it's no different. Secret F. Oh. Okay. 2003. Predictable results. Okay. Secrets. Oh. Of the telephone. Klabu. Sticky Klabu. Anyone get that reference? Surely someone gets that reference. Please. Please. Someone gets that reference. Sticky Klabu. Anyway, back to 3-sentence porn reviews. Yeah! That's literally that! Oh, God. Miyazaki is admitted to his obsession with the lady in Hakujaden. In a lumping with his attitude as a child. I mean, he's definitely cultured and well-read, but he wasn't born like that. Okay, Secrets of the Telephone Club. Yes, it's Dorothy. Let's go. C in Blue. 2004. Oh, the 1991 as well. Sorry. Secrets of the Telephone Club. Yeah, no change. Video Girl Eye is talked about a lot. I think it's been brought up 3 times in this reading. I can't scroll far down enough. Where is it? So much. interesting potential, although it sorely lacks in execution with substandard digital animation and a ponderous pace. I'll give it mixed. Of the Mountain Princess. We're here, fellas. This is our resting spot. 3 hours, 13 minutes in. This pace, this is it. This is the fucking pace, my guys. Guys and gals and non-binary pals. 2007. Porn manga. Ah! Why did it have to end on a porn? God. Great. Very cool. The Endo. I'm not saying the line. Though judging from SFF's trailer on YouTube, this looks surprisingly sweet. At the very least, it's probably better than Overfiend. MSG Mountain Seed. Oh, I get it. Bad end. Yeah. Well, let's count 50 articles for the next time, and I'll read out ones that I see that are like, oh, interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sensualist. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Lane. Shakugan no Shana, Shaman King, Sherlock Hound, Shiba the Dog's Peaceful Heart is the 50th one. Shiba the Dog's Peaceful Heart. And I could change this to a 3. Done 100 articles in S so far. Uh-huh. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, there's like 15 articles with the word sex starting out. It starts with the word sex, so like of course. Missed most of the stream, but I'm glad I haven't missed Lane. Looks like that's next time. Yeah, it's on Tuesday. Hopefully I stream Tuesday. But it is good to see you at the tail end as your guy. You didn't miss too much. It wasn't too much of a exciting stream, in my opinion. Nothing super like, whoa! Nadia was probably the best, probably the highlight. Hi Shaves, just thought I'd mention that my video on Digest somehow brought several new subs to me. Aw, I'm happy to hear that, sensualist type. And you've reminded me, Lucario fan. I think you did this last time when you shared the video with me. That was like, oh right, I gotta make Digest public. I'm an idiot. Ugh. I'm gonna do that right now, while on stream. My patrons have probably already watched it by now, but for those of you, well, it's 9 on the dot for me. That's so perfect. Oh my gosh. My videos. Oh, well, yeah, this one. It's about to be like what the live stream we're doing right now. Okay, that's perfect. It's like 9 a.m. At 9 p.m. I mean, I did it on purpose. I swear to God. Let me tweet that. Sorry, I'm doing this all on stream. Oh God, 15 notifications. Cause you know, Steins Gate take. I wish I ended it on this track. I love this this OST. Ending the stream on this OST is so Kino, but it's okay. Yeah, I'll look at all that shit later. Sounds like we got a number of prolific series coming out. A couple. Not as much as the first stream, which had fucking Sailor Moon and Saint Seiya and shit. The Goon Cave arc. Sakura Diaries is Studio Shaft's first anime, if I'm not mistaken. First TV anime was Edo Ranger. Gooning arc. Their first anime was actually an OVA called Yumekara Samenti. Stein's take. Nice. Shabe's take. Good lord. Oh my gosh, it's the Roger commenting on something I said. I wish something someone would sub C and ow. Probably wouldn't happen though. I'll watch it full win, man. I'll put it on my now interested in. I'll do it. C in ow. For you, because then I'm gonna look back on this list and be like, why was I interested in that? What did you dislike about it? Oh, Steins Gate? I'll watch it raw and let you know what I think. Your comment on Geek Studios video about Betterman ZD was the first time I ever saw people online actually talk about Yonitani. Aw. Yeah, Steins Gate. I did not rate it on Taiga for almost the entire time, and I just binged the last 6 episodes today while I was at work. And yeah, that wasn't it. Yeah, I was frustrated a lot with Okabe and his attitude and decision making, and he was not the protagonist I would have liked in this role. I get what they were going for. He's a loser, you know, and he's got redeeming qualities, and you know, it's his confidence and everything that gets him through, and he never gives up, and you know, that's cool. But he was just very frustrating to watch as a lead in this show that's so plot driven and like, I gotta do this, what's going on, and like all this other stuff. He just wasn't the character I liked to follow in this particular show. I liked the characters. I do like the characters. But it's just unfortunate that they're in a show where they're constantly being refreshed, losing their memories. Which is good because, well, you know, it's encouraging that their characterization is still so strong despite that. But that was obviously really frustrating to me. And the show is just dull as shit to look at. I'm sorry. There's occasional good moments of Sakuga, or like some little kind of cool moments. But aesthetically, it's I would rather eat saltine crackers. I actually am very addicted to saltine crackers. I'm a big like wheat guy. I love saltine crackers, so I can't really. It's hard for me to call it that. But it's just not a looker. It's just not. It's like the same 5 colors and similar sets, very boring sets. Not too much in the way of it's so dull. Ugh. And I know the music is a particular composer that people like, but you know what? There's moments that was like, this is like from the video game. I'm not, you know. And look, I like Danganronpa's OST. You know, I don't mind video gamey OSTs, but like, it was weird in this one. I just couldn't feel it in this one. The one like theme kind of emotional track that they kept using, that was nice. That was a good OST. There's a good soundtrack in there. I was very disappointed in the OP, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen that OP and I've watched it, you know. I've known that, I've listened to it. It's like one of my favorite OP songs for the longest time. But then watching it in the context of the show, which I've talked about is in my Naruto video, is important. The visuals do nothing. It's nothing. It's just they're not synced that amazingly, and like it's even when they change it 2 episodes towards the end, where it's like the second half of the song, they shake it up a little bit and shake up the visuals a bit. It still doesn't mean anything. It's just a lot of random stuff, and like they cramp all the credits. They flash them really, really quick towards the beginning, and then during the chorus, where you'd have some really cool like showing moments, there's one sequence of Carice going that's just like kind of aimless, like oh, and being like zoomed backwards, and it doesn't feel like it means anything, or maybe someone's made what's an OP, I don't know. But then it just like montages a bunch of people moving with code, and then flashes a couple of significant items that represent something or whatever. Nope, not it. It's just not it, guys. It's just not it. I like the song, so I never really skipped it, but like it's not a looker. And then the ED is, I liked what they did one episode. The one episode, like I think it was episode 22, where they didn't use the ED song, and it was a different OST, and I'm like, something's up, something's gonna happen. And true enough, it interrupts like halfway through the song, and the visuals are still going, and then you hear him like making a phone call, and then the twist happens. That was a good directorial moment. But man, I really couldn't decide whether I liked it or not, because the visuals are so unappealing, and I was really frustrated by almost all the story beats. Like nearly all of them. I'm just like, oh, come on. Or just like, couldn't it be this? Or like, why don't you do this? Or whatever. And like, talk to her. There's so many moments of Okabe just be like, not telling them what's going on. And they're insisting, please let us help you. We're your friends. Come the fuck on, dude. And like, it was so dumb. Really exasperating. But it was the characters I really liked, and I was like, it's got to be going somewhere. It's got to be like the plot or something. It's like, okay, it's got to be doing something. And the consequences that were set up in the first half, it's like, okay, that makes sense. Okay. But when you get to the catch-22 of like, I'm not gonna give the specifics, but like the catch-22 of the one or the other type of thing, it was just so melodramatic and not in a way that I thought was appealing or interesting, or just it just felt unfair, and it's just like miserable. There was multiple points where there was certain plot points I'm like, this is miserable in a way that's like not in a way that I get it, you know, and because it was just frustrating, you know, and I didn't know where it was going, and so it wasn't until like 2 episodes before the end where, you know, it seems like he's made it back to the original timeline, and then last minute type of thing, like, oh, we need to have a climax for the thing because it needs to end in a uplifting way or something. And then I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm done. I watched the whole thing, and I even thought that even them doing it, even the finale, just felt cop-outy to me. I just felt like they had a chance there in that moment. The thing that he does to solve the problem, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's the comeuppance, that's the full circle type of moment. And then it doesn't follow through with that. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. And then it makes me like really cynical looking at how there's a movie after this. And then there's a whole fucking sequel, Steins Gate Zero. I don't even know what it's about. And I'm like, and I've heard nothing good about it. And I've like, don't watch it. And I'm just thinking, I was like, yeah, God, of course I wouldn't watch it. If I didn't even like the original, why would I? It just felt like comical to me. And I'm sorry if I'm being super, like, pessimistic, salty. This is how I can get. This is how I can get talking about this stuff sometimes. And that's why I don't dwell on it, because that's not what I really want to spread. But if people were curious, if people wanted to know, this is why I would never make a Steins Gate video, right? I'm not going to be calling myself as an expert or something. Or like, you know, I guess I'm enshrining it in a stream, but like, you know. But I'm not going to say, insist like my take's correct or something. Because it's like, yeah, there's probably some beats that like didn't land for me, and that's just what happened. It just didn't land. It hit for me at that particular moment. Like, okay, happens. So I'm gonna read the whole chat now. Oh shoot, I had no idea. I'm flattered. When are you watching Kobuto? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't had it on my priority list. I don't have it on my radar. Maybe if I'm going through Clamp or something. I do want to watch it though. I'm excited to because I know it's your all-time, or Cardcaptor's your all-time. I keep mixing the two. When are you watching Nanoha? It's also not on my radar really. I've been meaning to. And it's gonna be tough because I'm going through a bunch of Magical Girl right now. And so after this year, I don't know if I'm going to watch more for a while. I'm just going to move on to another genre. I'm thinking doing like the gag stuff. Like I want to watch some more Shin-Chan, Gonzo Tensei Bakuban. I want to watch Gutsy Frog. I'm thinking of tackling those stuff next year in terms of a long series. And then I kind of try to build titles around that. That's my intention at least. But I do want to do Nana at some point. Steins Gate needed more ghost radio people and fast talking. Yeah, you know what I mean, Raj. Yeah, you get it. You get it. Somebody, I said that. I think you were here on stream when I said this, but Hayden wasn't. I didn't even make a connection to Occultic 9. I completely forgot Occultic 9 and Steins Gate having that apostrophe similarity, like the part of the scientific science series or something. And then someone on Twitter was like, yeah, I'll connect it. Occultic 9's better. And I'm just like, oh my god, it's way better. Oh my god. It's like everything that I wanted Steins Gate to be. So, yeah. Then again, someone did sub the Excel Saga Director H anime is interesting. Man, I need to finish Steins Gate, stop to halfway point. I'd rather eat saltine crackers as a good review. Shaves Take Shake. Dildo Delahan and Desert Dream Sequence Desert. Dallahan. He gets it. Old OG fan. No one's watched that JoJo video. God. It is in there. I haven't watched that JoJo video in years. I'm going to cringe when I get to my anniversary, I'm going to watch some old videos that I haven't in a long time. And I'm going to cringe. Oh my god. Also, I can't believe you're dissing Takeshi Abao's teeth. That's actually unforgivable. No, you see, I knew there's a particular composer, like people really cherish that particular director, that composer. And yeah, I like one track from that show. It's like the really kind of pivotal emotional moment they use for all the emotional moments. I like that track. And that's good. That's important to get right, so. You ever listen to the game OSTs by David Wise? No, I'm not familiar. Yeah, episode 22 that's the themes from the video game. I agree about Steins Gate's looks. It's a notch above a typical visual novel, so just okay. Yeah. I enjoyed what I watched of Steins Gate, but I would consider it top 10 material. Good lord, no. I mean, it's no Eric Planet. Or F, for that matter. I haven't seen that beyond the trailer. F anime visuals are insane. Agree, especially in melodies. Wow. Zero's atrocious and I like the original. I remember watching it as it was airing, and to me it was such an obvious train wreck in every way possible that everyone talked up like crazy. Yeah. You should make a Steins Gate video for the same reason I'll never make a Naruto video. Yep. What you said about OG Steins Gate is how I feel about what I've seen of Zero. Then Trixie did her series on why Zero sucks, and more over time people... I should watch that now. I should totally watch... I watched that when it came out, and I didn't understand any of it. And now I'm gonna howl. Howl with laughter over that shit. As a Steins Gate hater. I don't hate it. I don't think it's awful. but didn't hit for me. Fate Zero? Yeah, Study Zero is worse looking than the original, and the original isn't even that good. Oh, God. I haven't watched it myself. I haven't considered to either. The video series was so great. I introduced anime to my parents with the original Steins Gate. Maybe I'd use Zero if I wanted to end their anime interest. Watch your old videos live. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Steins hate. That's right. And I was waiting for Shaw to like give me your like, you know, disapproval, and I'm like, yep, there it is. I'm sorry, because that's like her all time, you know. And I felt bad, but I was watching and I'm like, this. I was just like, it was so bad and savage, but it was just, you know, I'm watching some like pivotal emotional moment with Chris and Okabe, and I'm just like, yeah, is this it? Is this your goat? One question I have to ask is Steins Gate Donnie Darko meets the Big Bang Theory. God, I haven't seen Donnie Darko. As per the quote on the DVD, Jesus Christ. Oh. Yeah, no. I don't think I would. I don't think I would. I get what they mean by Big Bang Theory, and that comparison is sort of apt almost in a not nice way. In a way that I don't think is flattering at all. Like, Steins Gate fans are like, no! But it's true. It is like Big Bang Theory. But I have no opinion about it being Donnie Darko. It's like you taped an episode of Big Bang Theory over a copy of Donnie Darko. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. And like taping something over, it doesn't combine the two. It replaces one or the other. Literally the way Steins Gate works. Literally the way the time travel works in that one. Love the atmosphere of Donnie Darko. I thought the writing sucked. Why does that comparison sound like something the authors of this book would say? Oh, God. You know, Steins Gate is an S. Well, we're gonna get to it this month, so that'll be funny. Anyway, been about 30 minutes. Been a little while, so I think I'm gonna head out. So hopefully see you guys Tuesday. Bye-bye. Damn it, the end of the track's about to happen, and I'm about to... Let me just rewind the track a teensy bit. Okay. Yes. Hope you guys enjoyed that stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. You guys are the reason I'm able to do this. Not monetarily, literally just emotional support. And like, it doesn't have to be monetarily. It really is just like, I do it because you guys are here. It's awesome. You guys are great. Have a great week. Couple days. Yeah, peace.